Hey y'all, hey. So I'm trying to get this all shared out real quick. Maybe. Hey y'all. All right, give me 1 second. I'm sharing this to my disco. Hello. Sorry I'm late because I was hooting and hollering in Lakeisha's live. She was showing Shannon's new book. Also, Maddie, I told you a story. I was going to color in my Bobby Goods book, but I think I need something easy tonight. You know what I mean? So I'm going to let y'all pick the book. And we're just going to listen to our Audible. And I'm going to let y'all pick the book. I got a couple books here. And we're just going to do some easy coloring tonight. Okay? Thank y'all so much for all the love. I see them taps and heart me's and all the things. No, I know. I just, with my Bobby Goods, it just takes a lot of thought and planning and all that for me. And I don't have all the things thought and planned. So I just need to eat. I think the heat is it's just hot, okay? And I don't like hot and sticky and anyways. Yes, we just need girls. Yes, so what we're going to do is I'm going to let y'all, we're going to poll. I don't know if y'all have ever been in Jade Summers Live, but she likes to poll for you guys to pick the book. So we're going to do that. So I have a couple little easy peasy books and I'm going to let y'all poll for which book y'all want to see me in. And then once we get the book picked and all that and everyone gets in, we'll start the audio book. It's American Elsewhere. So we're picking up on chapter 11 and we'll talk more about that. But so we're going to start with Girls' Day and Cat Mom. So if you want to see me color something into Cat Moms, we'll do the sad face on the bottom. The happy face is going to be the book on the top, which is Girls' Day. These are both by Vivi Tinta. They're super cute. Okay, so happy face for Girls' Day, sad face for Cat Moms. Which book do you want to color in with me tonight? And then let me go ahead and get my serial killer documentary off and the Audible opened. All right, happy face for Girls' Day, sad face for Cat Mom. Nope, I don't need to stay in the loop. Hey, Barbara. Hey. We're voting in what book we want to color in tonight. We're going to do Girls' Day, happy face, Cat Mom, sad face. Hey, Amber. I know I had put on the schedule that we were going to work in the Bobby Goods book, but I was saying earlier, I don't know if it's just the heat or what, but I'm just needing something easy tonight. So, all right, it looks like Cat Mom. So now we're going to go through and do Cat Mom or Little Cuddles. And y'all do know I've worked in this one some. This is the Coco Little. I was trying to see. We've got that one and that one. This one is a cute book. That one. Okay. So happy face, Little Cuddles, sad face, Cat Mom. Happy face top, sad face bottom. Hey, Flawless, how are you? Welcome in. Hey, we're voting on the book that we want to color in tonight. Something easy peasy. Happy face, Little Cuddle, sad face, Cat Mom. And you know what? I had a whole stack. Well, I want to say a whole stack, but if Cat Mom wins again, I think we're just going to do Cat Moms and we won't go through this. We'll do the Cat Moms. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday. I almost said Monday. And look, I'm even getting my electrolytes, okay? I'm drinking that Element pineapple sparkling water. It's so good. But the heat's just taking me out. Happy face, Little Cuddle, sad face, Cat Mom. Remember, tonight is coloring and Audible. We're going to continue our audiobook in just a minute once we get started. I'm doing pretty good, Flawless. I'm a little tired, a little hot. Yes, Barbara, I'm telling you. Okay, I think Cat Mom won, right? All right, well, we'll just go with Cat Mom. And just well, let's look at a couple pictures that we might want to do. They're here on the TikTok shop. You can get them here on the TikTok shop. There's Vivi Tinta and then the Coco. I'm pretty sure Vivi, yeah, TikTok shop, yeah. Okay, let's pick a couple pictures that we might want to do. This book kills me because they have the little peanuts. But there's 40 pictures. Let's see. This one's cute. I'm going to pick a couple, maybe two, and then I'll let y'all pick the ones that y'all want to do. And then we'll turn on the Audible and get started. If you're new here, hi, I'm Tristan. I color daily. And on Tuesdays, we color and we listen to an audio book. We've been listening to a story called American Elsewhere. We're on chapter 11, but it's a long book, so we'll get you caught up. And that one's cute too. I don't know if I want to do 3 cats though. So happy to see everybody. I'm trying to be like, okay, what pictures do not overwhelm me, because I just want a relaxing color tonight. I almost just worked in my color by, but, well, I finished one. The makeup one is cute. Oh, thank you, Maddie. I'll have to go back. I didn't even, was that the one with them looking in the mirror? Look at us hitting a goal. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for the moo-moos. Thank you for the follow. Let's see. We might have to do that makeup one. Oh, yes. Yes, I will show you them. Are you talking? Yeah. Okay, yeah, right. Did you come in when I was explaining that? I just wanted to do something easy. I'm so sorry. But this is the mermaid page we started. And I was going to continue it tonight, but I just don't have the brain power. It takes a lot of, like, motivation, if you know what I mean. And so I was like, you know what? We're just going to do something easy tonight. Finesse, thank you for the follow, but hopefully later in the week we'll continue it. I'm just not feeling it. Okay, let's do, I had one, I just dropped it. Okay, this one or the makeup one. Yes, it's cute. I am enjoying it, but I'm just not feeling it tonight. Y'all know, you know. Yes, easy peasy, pumpkin squeezy. Hold on a second. Where did it go? There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna let y'all vote if y'all want to do this page or this page. And it's gonna be some easy peasy coloring tonight, okay? Don't expect the greatest. We're just going to chill and listen to our audiobook. So, happy face for this page. Sad face for the makeup page. And then we'll get started with our audiobook. It is a really cute book. I love it. All right. Happy face this page. Sad face makeup page. Happy face. Sad face. Happy face. Sad face. Happy face. Sad face. What is everybody doing tonight? What are y'all going to be coloring in while we listen? Or what are y'all doing while we listen? Happy face. Sad face. It looks like the makeup one's going to win. Melinda, hi. Thank you for the heart me. Happy face. Sad face. We're voting on which page we're going to work in tonight. Something easy peasy. Happy face, sad face. Thank you for the repost. It looks like this one is going to end up winning. 10 seconds. Okay. All right, I'm about to start our Audible book. Ooh, yay. Yes, don't forget that tonight is the last night to submit pages for the June coloring challenge. Last night, everybody. Okay. Let me put my sticker up here. We're going to start the Audible. We've been listening to American Elsewhere. It does have language. It does have violence. Lots of trigger warnings. So it's recommended 18 plus. Or if you're sensitive to those. I mean, it's not like the whole book. It's kind of like a Stranger Things vibe. But I do like to just make sure you're aware. I think the worst part is the language, honestly. Like the majority of it. 18 plus. Okay, got my sticker. And to catch you up before we start, the story, our main character, look, I'm so like just out of it, y'all. I don't even know. What is her name? Y'all. Also, I struggle with names. Shoot. Okay, our main character has inherited a house from her mother that she didn't know because she passed away when she was very young. And then her dad passed away. She inherited this house in this really weird city. And all the people are just very weird and quiet. And there's like, her mom used to live there a long time ago before she... Oh, yes, Mona, that's it. Thank you. Sorry. We're only like 8 hours into this book and I can't remember. And... so she goes into this town to see this her mom's house, and they're just kind of odd, very small town. There used to be some kind of plant there that her mom worked at, but nobody is like, everybody's hush-hush about the plant. Nobody seems to know her mom. Nobody seems to know anyone that worked at the plant. And she ends up having this very strange interaction with a character named Mrs. Benjamin, where she had like these mirrors and like an object got stuck in the mirror. It's like a different world. I don't know. And then there's something about some eyeballs in a jar. Mona looks over and it's like what looks like eyeballs in a jar, but then it's like back to normal again. I don't know. So we're going to be picking up there on chapter 11. And on Tuesdays only. Every Tuesday we just color and listen to this book. But as always, please feel free to chat, ask questions. I'll absolutely not mind answering questions. And we're just going to do something simple tonight. If you're not new here, if you're not new here, you're probably used to my elaborateness, but it's going to be easy tonight. Yes, let's start. Here we go.
When the sun crests the peaks and the afternoon rays come spilling through the valley, Wink slowly fills with the overpowering aroma of pine. It comes from the forest, of course. The sun is literally roasting the sap while it's still in the tree's limbs. The outer neighborhoods get the most of it, naturally. And while they claim they love the scent, some privately admit that they'd enjoy something else for a change, honestly. Even a paper mill would do. Helen Thurgreen is one of the few who is perfectly fine admitting such a thing in public. While most residents prefer to keep their dissatisfactions quiet, Helen spends most of her time out in her yard, where the smell is nothing short of overpowering. So she feels she has every right to complain. And she has to spend so much time out in the yard because somehow her house has become quite the thoroughfare, with thoughtless passers-by racking havoc on nearly every single one of her rose beds. She almost curses to herself as she lugs a spade, a rake, and a hoe from the garage. Someone really should have mentioned how popular this route was when they moved in, she thinks. They might not have even bought the place. But people don't mention much here. As she gives one final heave and tears the rake free from a tangle of garden hose, she staggers back and happens to spot what should be the thick, magnificent blooms of a nacogdoches rose, a rare transplant. However, 3 of the most promising buds have been broken off and dangled dead and browning from the rose's branches. No doubt it was done by some traveler who carelessly plowed through the poor thing. Son of a bitch, she says. She will have to fix it, she supposes. There are so many things she needs to fix. But nothing compares to the state of the backyard, which is what sent her out on this hot afternoon, rummaging through her garage for spades and rakes. Is something wrong? Asks a voice. She looks over her shoulder and sees something unusual in Wink, a total stranger. But then she thinks and realizes she recognizes this short, striking young woman with the black hair and dark skin. It's the new girl from down the street, the one who came roaring into town in that ridiculous car and ruined the funeral. Helen had imagined her being a fat, loud creature, but the girl on the sidewalk is fairly becoming, or at least she would be if she cared about her outfit. Helen has never thought much of cutoffs, and her hair, which Helen finds a bit dykey. Oh, hello, she says to the girl. No, everything's fine, just swearing at the flowers. Oh, says the girl. I don't believe we've met, ma'am. I moved down the street. I'm Mona. She aggressively sticks out her hand.
Thank you for the follow.
Helen! She shakes off one dirty gardener's glove and shakes the girl's hand. Doing some yard work today? Mona asks. Yes, says Helen, who wishes the girl would go away. But she doesn't. She looks around at the front beds and says,
this is the picture of this cat, I
you can't
think.
have much to do. These look
So we're going to
gorgeous
have
enough
matching
already.
bow ties.
Helen smiles thinly. The girl obviously doesn't know what she's talking about and can't see the numerous damages.
We are listening
Well, it's
to a
not
book
convenient,
called American
says Helen.
Elsewhere.
The
We do it every
backyard's a
Tuesday
bit of a
night.
mess. I see. Sorry to ask, but would you mind if I ask you a question, ma'am? Us being kind of neighbors and all? I suppose not. Have you lived in this house long? Mona asks. Oh, God, says Helen, laughing wearily. Too long. Would you have happened to have lived here when Alora Alvarez lived at the house I'm in now? She points down the street, as if Helen can't tell where she lives by the absurd red thing parked outside. That one? Helen thinks. No, she says
Hey,
finally.
Amanda Panda.
I'm afraid I can't recall. I doubt.
We do an audiobook every Tuesday where we listen to audiobook and we color. I was going to color my Bobby Goods book, but the heat is just too much today. And it's got me worn out, I think. So we're just doing something very easy. It's called American Elsewhere. Hey, Franny B. And we're coloring in the Cat Mom book by Vivi Tinta. So just something easy peasy and relaxing tonight. Every Tuesday. Hey, Nicole. You know, usually we're hooting and hollering in here, but Tuesdays is our like sensory night where we're just calmer or we try to be. Swamp night was crazy. Nicole, thank you for the heart me Franny Bay with the go pops. Yes. I hope you enjoy. Oh, yes. Yes, Franny. Like 11:59, 12 o'clock-ish. Yes. Tonight is the last night to send in your challenge papers in the Discord if you are wanting to be eligible to win in the June coloring challenge giveaway.
Lab on the mountain. Coburn? Helen frowns at her mistrustfully and glances around. I don't know anything about that. You don't? Wasn't the town built around it? I don't know anything about that, she says again. Coburn was gone long ago.
Hey, make sure it's a lemonade.
Do you know how long?
Not a pineapple.
Helen, growing impatient, shakes her head. No,
The one on the
I
top,
don't.
middle, right there. Yep.
Oh, Mona says. She looks at the spade in Helen's hand, then up at the gate to the backyard, which is hanging open. Helen can't help herself. She slowly moves to block the girl's view. Well, says the girl, thanks anyways. If you think of anything, I'd really appreciate it. She waves and walks back down the street, hands in her pockets. Ta-ta, says Helen. She watches the girl go, happy that the conversation ended there. There are a few subjects you never discuss, and Coburn is one of them, even though its logo, the hydrogen atom encased in light, discreetly adorns nearly every municipal structure in Wink, if you know where to look. Often you will see it tucked away in the corner of a building's foundation, or engraved on the very, very bottom of a light post. But then you must forget you ever saw it, which of
Hey,
course
Crystal,
is no
we
issue
just
in
got
Wink,
started.
where knowing how to forget what you've seen is like knowing how to blink. And there are much, much harder things to forget than a little logo. Helen hauls the yard tools around back. She was not lying to the girl. The backyard is in a bit of a mess. But it's not the lilies, which need to be thinned, nor is it the morning glory, which is taking over. It's the enormous sunken hole right in the center of the backyard, nearly 5 feet across. It's a very curiously shaped hole, really. It has a large, roundish section in the middle, and 4 rather odd protrusions stick out of its edges.
Were you?
With
I
3
just
bendy ones
finished
on
a
one side of the
Bridgerton page.
circle,
I'll show you in
and a
just a
large
second.
square one sticking out of the opposite side. It would be difficult for
I
anyone
almost
to
did that
imagine
tonight
what could
instead.
ever make such a bizarre shape. It could be a sinkhole, one might think, but the rest of the ground is very firm. And it could have been done by flooding.
Oh, Lord. Look at that. Thank you so much. Let me get you a sticker.
Overnight. Helen throws down her tools and begins hastily filling in the hole. Her husband, Daryl, who, as always, is mostly worthless, comes out to watch, but doesn't offer any help. It's huge, he says softly after a while. Helen nods sourly as she works at the hole.
Great
Came
job.
right into the yard, he says.
It did.
Isn't that obvious? Says Helen.
It
You're
did.
not supposed to come
It's
in
so
here,
loud on my
he says.
end.
They stay out in the woods, and we stay away from the woods. Those are the rules. Do you think, asks Helen between spadefuls, that I am an idiot?
No, it's
Do you
okay.
really think I
Thank
don't know
you.
that? Which one do you think it was? he
Megan,
asks.
thank
We
you
can
for the
report it
heartbeat.
if we like. We should report it anyway. If there's anyone left to report it to, I guess Macy will have to do.
Sorry, interrupting, but this is the Bridgerton page I finished in the Bridgerton color buy. Isn't it so cute? I love it. Okay, that is all.
For a moment, Helen stops digging and looks up. Though the fence around their yard is tall, from here she can see over the top and down into the valley. After years of living in this house, she can see
Thank
why their
you.
yard is such a popular thoroughfare. It's the lowest and most accessible point between the wooded slopes and the rest of the town. Anything out in the woods would naturally wander this way when trying to get to Wink. And what's out in the woods, Helen thinks, has never really understood the concept of private property very well. At the bottom of the mesa is one barren, treeless canyon that her eye lingers on for a long while. Of course, it had to be that one, she thinks. It couldn't have been one of the little ones. It had to be the biggest. This is just my luck. How I hate this house. She turns around to face her husband. No, she says. We are not reporting this. Not about him, anyway. Now, are you just going to stand there, or are you actually going to do anything? My
Thank y'all
back's
so
hurt,
much for all the
he says
taps. I see
defensively.
them going.
Oh, it's always your back. She returns to filling in the hole. Or your knee, or your ankle. I have joint problems, he says. It's genetic. Helen scoffs. After a while, Daryl says, it came right up and stood in the yard. Why would it ever do that, I wonder? I expect it was doing what everyone else is doing, says Helen.
I used
And what's
a
that?
colorless blender.
She lays the
And so I
spade
just
aside
wet
and
it
starts
with a
kneading
colorless
over the
blender
dirt with the
first.
rake. Soon she'll have to lay sod out and keep it soaked. But in time, it should all be patched up. And no one will have any reason to think anything strange has happened here at all. Helen says, coming to get a look at the new girl. Chapter 12. It's a bad night, Joseph can tell. He can tell by how the trees begin to devour the sun, and the way the stars stab through the soft blue sky and shine down just a little too brightly. It's in the way the wind rubs its back on the pines, and they bend a little more than they
No,
should.
you should still
It's
be able to
even the way
take your
his family
colorless
chandelier
blender and do
lights the
that.
dinner table. The light is flat and lifeless, like it's cast from a neon light filled with a powdery
I guess
remains
it kind of
trapped
depends on the
insects.
paper. If it's thin paper,
It
you
makes
may
the
have to
food
do a
look like
second
glue,
coat of your
and
yellow or
skin
your
looks
pink
perfect.
after.
On nights
But
like
the
this,
colorless
his family
blender
knows
will
you get your day
get
done as
that
fast as
out.
you can, and then you go to bed. It's not enough just to stay indoors. You don't even want to be awake. Being awake attracts attention, which you definitely don't want. But awake is exactly what Joseph is, as he lies in his bed and stares at the ceiling. He tries to ignore the shadows dancing across the blinds in his bedroom window.
You're
He
welcome.
tries not to think of Gracie and her cool touch and saddened eyes. She seems so much sadder these days. Since Mr. Macy caught them, he hasn't dared
Does easy
contact her.
peasy count using a charcoal
And he
pencil?
tries not to think of what could be happening out there, among the buttes and bluffs around Wink, or in its darkened streets and alleys, or in the playground at the elementary school. Tonight is most definitely a bad night.
Moonchild,
worst in
thank
a
you for the
while.
heart me. Welcome in
He freezes and sits up in bed a little.
to Audible night.
Was it his imagination, or was there a tap at his window? He soon realizes it wasn't his imagination.
Okay, chat. Okay, so when I do like easy peasy stuff, and I like to use a limited palette, and so I try to color block and like see where can I repeat colors. So I was thinking about this nail polish because I was like, okay, we can do the lipstick kind of red or pink, and then we can do the nail polish blue. But what do y'all think? What color should we do the nail polish? Blue, or do we got enough blue on the page, you think? I'm doing pretty good. It's just been hot, and I've been spending, y'all know I don't like being outside, but I've been trying to do better. I've been getting my vitamin D. I've been walking. I did the grass this weekend, and I think that's why, like, the heat is just like, bleh. So I was trying to do something easy tonight. But do y'all think it's going to be too much blue to do, like, blue nail polish? Caffeine Mombi says blue polish. I agree. Hey, Brendoni, how are you?
Nation. Because there's another tap. This one much louder. Then a soft pitter-pat as something rains against his window, like sand. He stands up and walks to his window, but doesn't open his blinds. They glow slightly from the streetlight outside. He sees something dark
good to
fly up
see
and
you.
strike the glass on the other side, and there's another tap. Someone's throwing things at the glass, he thinks. Or are they being tossed by the wind?
Yum, Taco Tuesday.
Joseph reaches toward the blinds, but
Had
hesitates.
lasagna.
He's never heard of someone's window being tampered with at night. That's not how things are supposed to go. But what if it's known that he's awake? What if this is how his crime is addressed? Maybe this is how it happens. But Joseph throws caution to the wind, and he takes one slat of the blinds and lifts it up ever so slightly. A blade of light pokes
that
through,
sounds
and he squints to
good.
see through it. His window is on the ground floor, and he can see the edge of the forest just beyond his house. There's a figure standing just beside the trunk of one tree. A white hand is resting against its bark, and is barely caught by the luminescence of the streetlight. The hand rises and gestures to him, telling him to come out, and
Yum.
his heart nearly stops. He should never have looked through the blinds, he thinks. This was all a huge mistake. The figure seems to grow frustrated at his lack of response. It gestures again, and Joseph is just about to shut the blinds when the hand's owner steps out into the light. It's Gracie. She's dressed in black, except for a check skirt. Her skin is paler than usual. She looks almost bloodless.
I guess
in
we
the
could put
streetlight.
this yellow up real quick.
She gestures to him again. This worries Joseph. They shouldn't be seeing one another after Macy caught them, and it's definitely not a night to be going out. He glances around at the trees, then pulls his blinds up and opens his window. "What are you doing?" he hisses as Gracie approaches. "Go back home, Gracie. It's dangerous out." "Not for me, it isn't," she says. There's something soft and hollow in her voice. "Come out with me. I need to talk to you." "What? Are you insane? I can't come out in this." "You can if I'm with you," says Gracie. "Come out, Joseph. You won't be harmed." "Mr. Macy caught us, though. We can't risk it." "Mr. Macy's what I want to talk to you about." He looks at the trees bending in the wind.
Yes.
They bend so
On
much, he's sure
Tuesdays,
they'll
we
break.
do
They're
an Audible
angry,
book.
he says softly. "They aren't angry," she says. "They're scared. Scared and confused." "Come
Girl,
out
y'all were
with me."
cracking me up with those mermaids earlier.
Joseph looks into her eyes. There's something new there. Something that shouldn't be. It's as if there's a flaw in their
I was telling everybody I was late to my own live because I was hooting and hollering in Lakeisha's live with y'all about your mermaid book. It's adorable. It was hilarious. Y'all. If y'all don't follow Lakeisha, she's so funny. She's so funny.
Color that's appeared overnight. All right, he says. He puts on some slippers and climbs out the window to her. She holds out a hand for him, then leads him away into the woods. The woods are cold and strange in the night. The way the wind runs through them makes it sound as if they are filled with voices. Sometimes he and Gracie pass through a glade, and it looks like no place on earth. The stones are black and shiny, and boulders with queer angles lean drunkenly against the night sky. Joseph smells the air and realizes it has that electric, ionized scent to it, and he understands she is leading him through no-go zones, one after the other. But these are ones he has never seen before, ones no one in town might even know exist. He's almost faint with fear at the idea of it.
Right?
Where are you taking me, Great?
Her with the, and look, you know what was taking me out was the shell bras. And she's like, they don't got no straps. And Shannon's like, they're just swinging down there in the water. I laughed out loud. I could not.
Gracie, he asks. To the lake to talk, she says. In quiet. There are too many eyes here in the woods. Too many eyes in town, too. Too many ears listening to everything and everyone. And the lake will be safe? Safer, yes. Why? Because no one wants to be near the lake, she says simply. The woods go on and on. Joseph never knew they were so big. But then, he's never really ventured into them before.
Yes, it is such a cute book. And look, I just got that daggum Wooks box. So I gotta wait a couple more days before I get paid. But I want that mermaid book too. Hopefully it lasts that long. Lakeisha will start making me nervous tonight, talking about we need to get it. It's so cute and I want it. And I love that it's spiral bound.
As a young boy,
Like, obviously.
he always wanted to. For what child would turn down an untamed kingdom just beyond his doorstep? But it was drilled into him from the start that his life, like everyone's in Wink, was to be anchored to the streets and sidewalks and well-lit areas, places of sunlight and fresh breeze. The other places, the places in the forest and those hidden in the canyons, well, those just weren't theirs to have. Gracie holds up a hand and they stop. She places a finger to her lips. Then she looks up and scans the pines above them. Joseph looks with her, but sees nothing. It feels like they've been looking forever when they hear a sound coming from the treetops. It's an awful sound, one that makes Joseph.
I know, I was trying to get a Benny
like
clip,
but
they're still a little too high for me.
The cicada, toss them all in a bag.
Rye
and
Creates,
give them a
thank you
bag
for
of
the
cake,
follow.
pissing them off. And yet Joseph feels there are words in that buzz. The thing in the trees is calling out a message,
Moo-Moos
like a
needs
warning.
one.
This territory is mine. Stay off. Gracie motions to him to stoop down low, and they begin to creep around the area the sound came from. As they pass through one glen, Joseph looks up through the branches, and he sees something at the top of a tree near the trunk. It is dark, but he thinks he sees the silhouette of a man balanced perfectly on a high branch, like a rooster.
Yeah,
on
it's
top
3
of a
days.
barn.
It's 3 days, girl. 3
In the
days.
starlight, Joseph thinks he can make out the edge of the man's face, and while he can discern a nose and a mouth, he can't see any eyes or ears. As he looks closer, the dark figure shifts a little on the branch, settles back its shoulders, and it lifts its head. And as it does, the horrible buzz fills the forest
It may be,
again.
actually, with it being a holiday,
Joseph feels his heart.
it might be a
rush up
day
its
early
rate
or so.
until he can feel his pulse.
I'm going to
in
be
his
watching
eyes.
my bank
The
like
shadowy
a
figure in the
hawk.
tree trembles as the buzz dies to a close, and he can see the thing begin looking around from the top of the tree, searching for intruders. Gracie takes Joseph by the shoulder. Come on, she whispers.
Hey, Tuff. Thank you for the heart me.
I thought you said nothing in the woods would hurt you, Joseph whispers back. I think so, but I don't want to test that. They slip around the thing in the tree and come to a path down to the lake. The path is very steep, but Gracie seems to have
I'm
no
doing
issue seeing in the
good.
dark.
How are you? We're just
And with her
taking
to
it
guide
easy
him,
peasy tonight.
Joseph has no problem.
Some simple coloring with
Soon
our Audible
the trees
book
draw
tonight.
back and the lake emerges. It's not really a lake, but more of a pond, fed by an underground spring.
How are you?
It's long and thin, a gash in the mountainside. The waters are so still, they're like a mirror, a puddle of stars among the rocks. On the far side is the elderly
It's
Miss Tucker's house.
Cat Mom
He
by
notes that
Vivi
she's awake,
Tinta.
apparently without concern. All of her
That's
lights
super
are on,
cute.
and he can see her moving in the windows. But then, he's heard she has an arrangement, just like Gracie. Gracie sits down on a stone shelf beside the lake.
Aw.
Joseph joins her.
That's so fun.
What is it? He asks. Gracie just stares at the pink moon in the skies. Then, you know I love you, don't you?
This is the cutest
Joseph
book
is
if
startled
you
by the
Cat
question.
Mom.
He's not sure what to say. He's never even considered the question. He longs for her, needs her, yes, but that's quite a bit different from love. I hope you do, she says. You're the only good thing in my life, Joseph. The only normal thing. The only thing that reminds me that I'm a person.
It's super cute.
My parents don't, not anymore.
It cracks me up because
Everything changed after
she
they made
draws
my
their
arrangement.
little starfish booties
Mr.
and their
First-
peanuts, and it just is.
God.
I'm so immature about it. Sorry, but
Sometimes
it's
I fool
hilarious.
myself into thinking it's. She falls quiet. Joseph watches apprehensively.
But let me
not
show you
sure
real
what to
quick.
do. What is it? He asks.
Look at the peanuts.
What's
I
wrong?
can't deal.
Someone needs to know, she says. And I want to.
And look, is this not the most relatable
She
Cat
steels
Mom
herself.
thing?
You remember the last time you came to see me?
They want to come sit
When
right
I
on
went
your
to go
chest
see Mr. First and Mr. Macy caught us? Yes,
in the
says
suitcase.
Joseph, who
If
honestly
it
wishes
fits,
he
it
could forget
sits.
it. They let me stay when they talked. I guess they didn't think I could hear them or understand them. It's not
A little grooming
normal
day.
when they talk among themselves.
They're-
They don't talk like people.
Look at his face. He know he
I
bad.
don't know if I want to know this, Gracie, Joseph says. I know too much already. I know I used to laugh about things like that, but ever since Macy found us, Macy doesn't care, she says.
Thank y'all again so
doesn't.
much for being here.
No, he has
for the
bigger things to
taps
worry
and
about.
I
He's
know
been walking out
we're a
in the
little more
countryside
quiet
every
on
night.
Tuesday
I've seen
nights,
him.
but
Why?
y'all get
He's
ready
been
for
talking,
Thursday.
Letting everyone know the news. Gossiping, I guess. To who? There are many of them that look like us, Joseph, she says. More than you think, probably. That's what they'd all do if they could.
Oh
Look like
man,
us
if we finish
but
this
some
page,
can't.
we might do this one next
Like
because
Mr.
he's so
First
funny.
and others. They can't stay in town. They have to
You know,
find
knocked
their
over
own
the
way
Christmas
wherever they
tree.
can. She looks into the waters. Joseph follows her gaze, staring into the starlit lake. It takes him a moment to realize he can see beyond its surface. There are rocks down there, speckled and silvery.
Thank you for the heart.
And some plant
Thank
life,
you.
like
Oh,
moss
thank
or
you,
reeds.
Shannon.
But some of the plants don't look like reeds. They're too fleshy, too pale. And they all seem connected to something, like there's a big tangle of them down in the lake. A minnow, no more than a dart of black in the water, comes swimming by one of the fleshy reeds. The flow of the reed changes, from sine to cosine, thinks Joseph, who's a bit of a math geek, as if it's resisting the current of the water, which a reed definitely shouldn't do. But then the reed snaps out, silent and snake-like, and he sees a flash of tiny, shining needle teeth, and the minnow is gone. What's that? Joseph stammers. What's down there? It's why there's no one near the lake, says Gracie. But it won't bother us. I've talked to Miss Tucker about it. She bows her head. I listened to them speak, Mr. Macy and Mr. First. They talked like old friends, which I guess they are. But Mr. Macy, he was terrified. I'd never seen that before. Everyone seems nervous after Mr. Warringer died, says Joseph. And that's what's strange. No one's ever said it. No one ever says anything, of course. But they can't die, can they? It's not allowed. There are rules. Joseph nods. You're afraid of them, aren't you? Gracie says. Shouldn't I be? Some,
Thank you for
maybe.
the follow. Welcome
But they're
in.
not bad. They're just lost. But for the longest time, I thought they weren't afraid of anything. She looks back at him. But I was wrong, Joseph. They are afraid of someone. And they're afraid of that person just as much as we're afraid of them. What are you talking about? Mr. Macy came back to Mr. First again, she says. He said he'd learned who killed Werringer. Or he thought he'd learned who. He said a word then. I couldn't understand it. And Mr. First went all quiet. And after that, Mr. First was so dismayed he could barely talk. To me or Mr. Macy. I don't know who it was they were talking about, but it's someone new. And I guess the rules don't apply to them. Whoever this person is, they're allowed to hurt things. To kill them. I don't know why they haven't before now, but that's what they're doing. Or what they did to Mr. Werringer. Joseph huddles close to Gracie on the stone shelf.
It's a
His
really pink
intentions are far
nose.
from amorous.
But I don't
He
really
is
use this color before.
Terrified of the
that
thing in
often.
the water and those strange glens in the woods. And now she's telling him about someone even worse. Someone that inspires fear in things he thought couldn't even understand fear. Yet Gracie is still and calm. A stable rock on this dark, swirling mountain. So he clings to her. Why are you telling me this? He asks. Because I don't want to see you hurt, she says. Things are changing in Wink. Things never change in Wink, but that's what's happening now. I want to make sure you'll be safe. Would you run away with me, Gracie? Run away?
Ooh.
She's quiet. I've never thought about it. I don't know if I'll be able to get away. But I'd want you to come with me. Oh, for God's sake, Joseph. Are you listening? This is much, much more important than you or me. Joseph draws back a little, stung. You don't understand how bad this is, says Gracie. I might be one of the only people who knows what's going on, thanks to Mr. First. He's given me certain authorities, though I'm not sure he knows it. Joseph looks at her out of the side of his eye. She is staring into the dark waters with queerly lifeless eyes. Is that why you seem so different? He asks. She shuts her eyes. It gets worse at night. In the day I feel all right, but at night, things change. She swallows. I'm in one place, and then, if I'm not looking, I'm suddenly someplace very different. Somewhere with red stars and many mountains. There's a ripple in the water, then another. At first, Joseph is nervous, eyes searching for those fleshy tendrils in the water. But then he realized Gracie is crying. Her tears falling into the pond. It's a disturbing sight, for she cries without moving her face at all. Her eyes are wide and calm.
Right?
The tears simply welling up at the rims to leak down her face. Joseph embraces her and holds her close. It's all right, he says. It's not, she says. It isn't, and it won't be. Not for me. We'll make it all right. How? I don't know. We'll do what we can, I guess. We can't do anything more than that. But though Joseph's words are comforting, he is disturbed. He's held her as she's cried before, but not like this. Arms limp and eyes wide open as she talks into his lap in a monotone voice. There is the sound of singing from the other side of the lake. Miss Tucker has hobbled out of her cabin and is standing on the dock with a lantern, singing a tuneless little reel. There's a splash from the center of the lake. A bit of froth stirred up, perhaps by the wind, perhaps by something else. And he sees the old woman stoop and hold something just above the waters. Perhaps a fish, a hunk of meat. He isn't sure. There's another splash and a moan from somewhere near the dock. And she stands back up and wipes her hand on her dress. But now her hand is empty, and she's smiling out at the waters with the fondness of a trainer observing the antics of a well-behaved pet. What I would give, says Gracie, for an arrangement as simple as that.
I'm trying to find a
Chapter 13.
shadow shade for the cat.
Mona discovers that her house's attic is stuffed full of boxes. And over the next few days, she sorts through them all, trying to see if their contents can tell her more about her mother. Many of them seem to be from the family who lived here before, but every once in a while she comes across a document or artifact of her mother's that urges her on. And as she works and lives her life in this town, she begins to understand Wink a little more, or she thinks she does. Wink is a sunny place, but you never have to go far to find a welcoming porch, or the shade of a pine, or a cool shelf of rock. There you can sit and watch the midday sun turn honeyish and dusky, and soon the streets will echo with the sound of children and the clatter of bike wheels, and people will begin venturing out to knock on neighbors' doors with pitchers of iced tea or lemonade.
Whoop that tea, Crystal.
Wink is a place where no vehicle ever seems to go faster than 30 miles an hour. The cars drip and slide through the neighborhood lanes with the gentle pace of raindrops weaving down window glass. There just isn't any need for a rush. Nothing is far away, and no problem would ever require you to hurry. If you're late, everyone will understand. And all the cars in Wink are American. Maybe it's because it'd be tough to get them serviced here if they were anything else. But the residents all take a special pride in it regardless. Everyone freely walks across everyone else's lawn, and sometimes people even hop a fence. In Wink, this is totally understandable, because what's mine is yours, my good fella. And maybe I wanted you to swing by so you could see how my roses are doing, or to have an old-fashioned and a game of pool. Wink is a place of evening baseball and dazzling sunsets and the cheery hiss of dance music through an idling car's radio. It's a porch place, a place of folding chairs and electric fans and crystal glassware and pitchers of carefully prepared beverages. It's a place of homegrown tomatoes and crawling ivy and roses heavy and drooping with blooms. People get dressed up to go to the diner in Wink. It's where all the official meet and greets are held, where everyone goes to hear the news, where you take your folks out when you want to treat them to a good time and a good piece of meat. Wink is a quiet place.
I was thinking the same thing.
A place where you can throw down a towel anywhere you want and stare up at the pale blue sky, and no one will bat an eye.
You'll be winking,
because it's
all
always
right.
early summer in Wink, and such things are meant to be enjoyed.
Early summer in Wink.
Every second is forever in Wink. Every day is a cool afternoon waiting to happen. And every life is one lived quietly, with your feet up and your sun-dappled lawn before you as you watch the world happily drift by. Sometimes Mona feels she has come back to a home she never knew she had.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
But each time she begins to feel this way, she finds herself watching the children. Of all Wink's pleasant wonders, it's the mothers and the children Mona studies the most. She watches them as they walk down the sidewalks, holding hands.
I love that cat.
She watches the children playing in the parks, the mothers lounging on picnic blankets, occasionally intervening in some spat. She watches the children sit on the porches as their mothers read them stories from their rockers before returning inside when it's dark. A single window fills with golden light, and bedtime rituals are completed. And then it winks out. Night-night.
Night-night.
As Mona watches, the old pain in her arm and stomach returns. Did Mama have that with me? Mona wonders. Did I? Could I have ever had such a thing? Put it away. Push it all away.
Push it away.
You are empty.
Push it real good.
Empty. Mona asks and asks and asks, but she gets no answers. At first, she suspects the entire town is hiding something from her. But after a while, she begins to believe them. They really don't remember her mother's time here. Was her mother here in secret? Did she live under another name? Was it something to do with Coburn? They cannot say. Despite this, Mona's first weeks in Wink are some of the most pleasant ones she's ever had. The afternoons are so beautiful they almost hurt. She's never wanted to shed her life and start anew as much as she does here. She almost wants to give up finding out more about her mother. But then she finds the cans of film in the attic. It's real film, motion picture film, spools and spools of ghostly amber images. She has to find an old school projector to view it. But this isn't hard to find in Wink, where the stores keep plenty of old appliances. She has to go through a tutorial to figure out how to feed the film through the projector. A marvelously complicated process. But when she figures it out, she returns home, shuts all the curtains and doors, feeds the film in, and turns the projector on. There's a whir, and a blob of dancing colored light appears on the living room wall. She fiddles with the knobs to get it to resolve into distinct shapes. And soon, faces and hands emerge from the colorful fog. What the camera is projecting is a room. This room, in fact. This very living room in this house. And it's not empty, but full of people. It's some kind of holiday party, one set during the summer. On the 4th of July, probably, judging by the red, white, and blue cake.
Oh, wow, okay.
And everyone in attendance is about the same age, around 30 or so. The men all wear open-throated shirts with blue or brown sports coats, and the women wear incredibly bright dresses, so bright they look like Christmas ornaments. The air is thick with smoke. Everyone has a glass of punch, and they all laugh as they walk in and out of the French doors in the back. Some of them wave at the camera or squint irritably when the cameraman turns its blazing light on them. There is no sound, so the images are accompanied
I just can't get over the cute
rattle
cat.
roar
I'm
of the
sorry.
projector.
It's okay.
One man calls across the porch to the backyard. Mona can see a woman turn and say something, but she's far away and out of focus. The man, to Mona he looks like a professional golfer, says something again, louder, and the woman shouts a response so loudly she practically bends double. Mona feels certain she's just witnessed the what? What? Exchange that has to happen once at nearly every big party. The golfer, giving up, waves to the woman, and she comes trotting in, moving very gracefully in such huge high heels. It is Mona's mother, Laura Alvarez herself.
Ooh,
wearing
who
an
got
amazing
filtered
red
already?
dress,
Who got
and she is
filtered?
undoubtedly the life of the party. A silent cheer goes up among all the attendees when she strides through the French doors, and she laughs, embarrassed but gleeful, her fingers fluttering to her chest to calm her heart. As she laughs, something in Mona
Maddie.
breaks, and she begins crying as the ghost of her mother smiles at her from the wall. This is all just not fair. It's wrong. No, it's just fucking rude for Mona to see her mother living a happy life among all these happy people. The blurry woman laughing on her wall has no idea that just ahead of her lie years of madness
Right?
spent in dark rooms. And somewhere in one of those rooms will be a child who can't understand why every sight seems to make her mother weep. Suddenly, Mona hates them all. She hates her pleasant neighbors.
I'm gonna find a nice green.
She hates the sound of the kids laughing as they fool around on the baseball field. She hates the cheery neon lights and the waves of hello. And she hates the painted people on the town sign who stare at the antenna on the mesa with eyes full of hope. She hates them all for having a happiness that is denied to her. Because they don't know, do they? They don't know what the world is like outside Wink. Those people in the film don't know that their dreams will come to nothing. They don't know how things really are, how they will be. But Mona knows. She knows too well. Mona's last name wasn't always bright. Once, only a few years ago, though it feels like a lifetime now, when she was on her 4th year with the Houston PD, she happened to meet a state trooper named Dale Loudon, a brick wall of a man who had large, sad eyes and a soft, slow way of speaking that charmed Mona's hardened, or so she thought, heart. Dale liked old movies, mowing his grass, and making fly fishing
Dale.
lures, though he was a terrible fly fisherman himself. He was kind, he was attentive, he was more or less thoughtful. In other words, he was everything Mona had missed out on.
Wait, Maddie,
so
what were
far
you
in her
trying to
life.
say?
And the fact
That
he had
got
a
you
dick like a
filtered.
plantain
Oh,
was
Lord.
a credit
Oh,
to his.
my God.
They got married when
Trigger
Mona was
warning.
32, and she was, to her suspicious disbelief, quite happy. The quiet, dull domesticity Dale offered appealed to her, resonated with her. She'd never known you could live like that, so relaxed, just simply there. There was something perfect about the Sunday mornings when they lie in bed, lazing away the day.
Oh, what?
It was like some kind of wonderful exotic drug. But then it would be. Because never in her life had Mona ever had a home like that.
You know what?
A real home.
I think.
She was pregnant 4 months into the marriage. It wasn't something either of them had intended, yet she could never call it an accident. Because Mona was, despite all logic, quite thrilled at the news, which was not something one would expect. Honestly, no one could ever hear the question, would you like your body to play host to a whole person? And upon painful extraction of that person, would you allow every waking and even unwaking moment of the next years or decades of your life to bend at the whims of a tiny, tyrannical, larval human to the complete devastation of your financial and social life? And respond in the positive. Let alone Mona Bright, she of the fierce right hook, cold grimace, which she picked up from her father, and dead-eye shot, for Mona had been far and away the best shot in her graduating class, something else she had learned from her father. But Mona did. When she saw the tiny pink plus sign on the white stick, something inside her opened up, unfolded its limbs, and stretched its palms toward sunlight. She couldn't articulate it, but it felt like she now had a chance to make things right, even though she was never entirely sure what had been wrong. Besides, a tiny voice always reminded her absolutely everything.
What's everybody
She soon found
coloring
herself
and doing
buying all sorts of
tonight?
ridiculous shit for the nursery. Carpets and drapes, and a crib and bedding, all vetted by the most scrupulous baby magazines, which suddenly seemed terribly wise. And onesies and hats that would only be worn about twice before the little thing's head grew too big. Most of these items were a gender-neutral yellow, because Mona could never get her head around this binary blue-pink bullshit. She also refused to learn the baby's gender, because that would just ruin all the damn fun, wouldn't it? Dale bought her similarly ridiculous maternity shit. Slippers, body pillows, a foot massager for her swollen ankles. He even bought her a pink maternity dress. A pink one. Because, bless his heart, Dale could never get his own head around Mona's problems with the blue-pink situation. But the thing was, Mona had worn it. Even though it made her look like a deflating
Oh, yes,
balloon
Bobby
piece of goddamn
Page.
chewing gum, she'd worn it. And she hadn't cared. The second she saw the tiny dancing shrimp person displayed on the screens at the OBGYN, none of that niggling stuff could ever bother her again. If anything bothered her, it was the whole family process. And there was a process. She began to think about the phrase start a family more and more. It was like start a car, suggesting that there was a pre-assembled apparatus and you could just hop in and hit a switch and off you would go. Or as if there were a cheap-suited huckster who, once you had a ring on your finger and a mortgage sucking off dollars from your bank account, could fix you up with the right kind of family and you could drive it off the lot today. It was a creeping feeling she had when reading the magazines, as if they were saying, this is how one births and rears a child. And they brooked no other suggestion. You had to look exactly like the picture in the magazine. Otherwise, you were doing it wrong. And none of that seemed right to her. She didn't want this to be a product, a commodity, something that had to look like what was advertised on the fucking box. This was her one chance to give love she'd never gotten herself. And she didn't want it to be turned into something she was being fucking sold, just buying the motherhood experience, one internet purchase at a time. Her life and her child were the only thing she'd ever really had, and she made herself promise never to forget that. It was 8 months into the pregnancy when it happened. 8 months of nausea, of swollen feet and fingers, of nosebleeds and blurred vision and exhaustion. 8 months of little wiggles and shimmers down in her belly. The poke and prod.
Probably should have done these red.
8 months of black and white photos of a slumbering stowaway growing inside her.
Are there purple
8 months
tulips?
of mounds and mounds of impossibly tiny
I don't know
clothing.
that much about them.
And then, when she was on her way back from the grocery store, she passed through an intersection with the blessing of 2 green lights. And yet, just as she trundled through, she caught a blur of red in the corner of her
wink,
vision.
there's purple tulips.
Just the tiniest blur.
Okay,
Like the
thank
foot of a
you.
hummingbird.
Thank you.
Then she felt her head snap back and her arms go limp.
We made it to 50K. Amber, you feel like doing the thing? The thing? Oh, okay, cool. Okay. I really didn't know. Not gonna lie. I thought maybe we could celebrate 55K on a random Tuesday night. But if you don't feel up to it, that's fine.
And in that moment, her world shattered. The entire earth seemed to buckle up and throw her car several feet to the right. She blacked out briefly. When she came to, with screams and tinkling glass and the hiss of machinery in her ears, she looked through what was left of her driver's side window and saw the crumpled front of a red Ford F-150, its windshield sporting a frost-rimmed, gaping hole on the right side, created when the driver, unbuckled, drunken, had been ejected through the windshield like a man shot out of a cannon.
You just let me know what you want to do, and we'll do it, girlfriend. Hello, Bex.
And all she could think was, where did that come from?
That's not dark enough.
Where did that come from?
For me.
Then the ambulance and the parade of
How
lights.
are you, friend?
Some red and blue, some cold white.
Thank you for the heart
white
me.
flashing lights. Light after light after light. And pokes all along her side as they put pins in the bones of her left arm. And then there was
Thank
Dale,
you for the popular
seated
vote.
beside the bed with his big hands clasped before him. His face
And the
color of a currant,
moo-moos. I'm
and
doing
his eyes dripping
good.
tears. And he said, honey,
We are working on
She
just
didn't make
something easy peasy tonight.
And Mona
Listening
said,
to our Audible.
who didn't make it? And Dale said, our little girl. She died.
Aww.
He killed our little girl.
Oh my gosh.
And as Mona understood who this she was, and realization dawned in her sputtering, bruised brain, some little shelf under her heart collapsed, and she caved inward, crumbling to pieces and falling down the big, dark mine shaft that occupied the space where her daughter had once peacefully slept. Dale
That's
kept talking,
so
but it didn't
sad.
matter. Mona was walking through the hallways of her mind, turning off lights, shutting off switches, locking doors, shutting everything down, 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 until all that was left was the barest fundamentals. Shut down. Turn it all off. Make yourself empty and drift. After the funeral, Dale held her hand and said she'd be all right. He said they'd get through this.
I don't know if I'm going to be all right.
He was wrong on both counts. She wished so badly to have known her at least a little before she'd lost her. Much in the same way, Mona knows that she wished to have known her mother before she excused herself from this
Yeah,
world.
I was just saying, tell me what
Why
you want to
is it, she
do,
thought,
like what you
that
want to
people
do,
always
and then
leave
we'll do
us
it.
just before we know them?
Who
After her
gamer?
marriage
Thank you
fell
for the
apart,
follow. Welcome
her old
in.
lieutenant came by to pay her his respects and offer her her old position. But Mona turned it down. The person who had worked that job was gone, just as the happy creature of lazy Sunday mornings was gone. Now she could tolerate nothing but endless highways and miles of ugly country, and the constant shuffle of motels, a beery, dreary life of mundane odd jobs and faceless,
Chat.
wordless lovers.
What do y'all want to do for a giving?
Somewhere in the midst of all that miserable wandering,
A
she looked at
clip,
herself in the mirror and saw a glimpse of the trembling,
a mini
mad
book.
woman who had once told her to stay in
Let's
the yard
celebrate Tuesday
until the
night.
ambulances were gone. Just before she lay down in the bathtub and
We need
stuck her
some
chin on the barrel of a 12-gauge.
happiness with all this sadness.
Mona
in this
considered
book.
doing the same. Perhaps she thought it was a kind of family duty. carrying on in her mother's footsteps. Yet almost as the thought crossed her mind, she got a letter notifying her that her father, Earl Bright III, had sloughed off his mortal coil to transcend this earth and touch the heavens, and so on and so forth. And waiting in the bleary wreckage of his life was a confusing invitation to come visit this little slice of paradise in the shadow of Mesa Abertura. Now Mona's here, sifting through the remains of another person's life. Yet this life was over long before she died. How and why this happened, why some germ of madness infected her mother's brain remains a mystery.
You want to do a clip, Amps?
And though she hates herself for it, she feels nothing but anger at the woman projected
or
on
a
the
sticker,
wall.
Or it don't matter, girl.
That Laura Alvarez and the rest of this town has a joy that has always eluded her. She hates that this place is perfect forever, whereas she is only a dream of something that now feels as if it might have never have happened. A dream of two people, mother and child, who never truly were.
That was so
Mona
sad.
isn't really paying attention to the movie anymore. She's just staring through the morass of flickering blue faces as she imagines her own failings. Yet then her anger goes cold, and something in her brain, the tiny cop part that still scrutinizes everything she sees,
no one answered.
Speaks up and says, "Did I just see?" She sits up, watching the film. The cameraman is following her mother through a dense thicket of people.
Yes, surprise us, Amber. Just surprise us. Surprise us.
But she doesn't see it again. So she has to go through the laborious task of rewinding the film. She starts it again and sits before the glowing wall, waiting, watching. The cameraman turns a corner and begins wading through the throng. Mona's mother sometimes stopping to
wading through the what?
People keep turning to look at the camera and its blinding light as it passes. And then one huge pale face comes
girl, no,
out of
it's
the
okay.
crowd
You're fine.
like a wayward moon.
I know some of y'all are coloring and listen.
What
Just
the
listen.
fuck? Breathes Mona.
Oh my god.
She rewinds it again and watches it once more. The empty room seems even bigger than before, and she shivers a bit, feeling cold and vulnerable. For projected on her wall, just very briefly, was the smiling face of none other than Mrs. Benjamin.
What?
The very woman who not more than
Miss
a few days ago
Benjamin?
claimed she didn't remember Mona's mother at all. She's standing in the crowd to the side, listening to conversation with a polite smile. And as the camera passes by, her eyes flick over, irritated. Who brought that damn thing? Before her polite smile returns, and the camera moves on. She lied, says Mona aloud. Why did she lie? But even more concerning, Mrs. Benjamin doesn't appear 30 years younger in the film. She looks the exact same age as she did the other day. Around 70. Yet this film has to have been taken more than 30 years ago, right?
Creepy Mrs. Benj.
Chapter 14. There's only so much nothing a man can take, Norris learns, before he has to do something. It's only been 3 weeks since Bolin sent them to do that job on the mountain. Yet it feels like an eternity, each hour stretched to a day by Norris's screaming paranoia. But so far, nothing's happened, and Norris has made sure to do nothing as well. This, of course, is part of Bolin's orders. Don't do a damn thing, he told him. Buy groceries, watch television, read, cook, whatever. Just don't talk to me or anyone else, and don't step a single
Oh,
step
shoot,
toe out of
Amber.
line, you hear?
You said surprise it is.
Norris is only...
Should I go ahead and start it and then you'll just tell us what it is? Or should we tell them what it is and then... I'm over here waiting on you, girl. You probably over there waiting on me. We got the biggest disconnect. Thank you, Maddie. That was so kind of you. Let me get you a sticker. Also, look, speaking of stickers, I was so excited because I finally put some stickers in my sticker book, and I wanted to show y'all my little BB Goods page because it looks so put together. Look at that. I love it. This is a little sticker book from Colored by Colors. I don't think they have this particular one in stock anymore. I think it was their last one, like this cover. But I think they do have. And then I got, this is my first page because y'all know I love frogs. Dream big, work hard. because my first page remind me to work hard. This is my little company sticker. So these are covered by colors. This is the marker monster. My Wooks, and I save spaces because I want to put like little motivational stickers in there. But what's really cool about these is you can like unpeel them and move them around as much as you want to. So if I don't like the way I've set something up, I can go back and change it. But I just had to show you this. It was so cute. Okay, sorry. Goodbye. Let me get Maddie her sticker. I told you I was been waiting because I've been having commitment issues, and then I was like, you know what? You can always change it. And then my other brain was like, oh yeah, that's right. So, oh my gosh, Maddie, look at this little frog. Ooh!
Too happy to oblige.
That's for you.
He's one of the few Roadhouse employees to actually live in Wink. This isn't, of course, a coincidence. Boland decided, or was told, a year ago that he'd need people actually in Wink, rather than on the periphery like the Roadhouse. Zimmerman and Norris got stuck with the job, which only occasionally seemed like a bad one. Wink is a terribly nice place to live, though the job does come with a lot of rules.
Amber, are you in here?
Difficult on a man like Norris. He tries to be good during this cautious period. He buys groceries and cooks and watches television. He cleans his house and mows his yard and just tries to be a generally agreeable neighbor. And everyone just smiles and waves to him, as if there's nothing wrong. And there isn't, Norris says to himself. Nothing is wrong at all. They certainly didn't kill the town's eldest, most respected resident up on the mesa nearly a month ago. Why, it's just insane to consider. No, it's just old Norris here, going about his normal, respectable business.
Old Norris.
But then it happens. He's at Mr. Macy's checking out. His bag contains only tuna, bread, and mustard, for though he attempted cooking, as Boland said,
tuna,
it was
bread,
an
and
unmitigated
mustard.
disaster. When his eye scans the magazines at the counter, most of them are the usual forgettable fare. But magazines in Wink, though all slightly bland, are ones Norris has never seen elsewhere, like Southern Housekeeper and Gardener, Our Day Today, and Southwestern Steps Outdoorsman. Yet one, a fitness magazine
Thank you for the
Norris has never seen before,
likes.
features a cover that leaps to his eye. A young man in a white t-shirt and
We're trying to get a
acid-washed
give you
jeans
started. Give me
leans
1
against the
second,
hood of a
sorry.
Corvette, staring into the sunset. He's thin and bronzed, and his oiled hair features a wandering forelock, an enticing thread of hair that curls across his smooth brow.
The fourth.
And there's something about him, the way his hips thrust forward, maybe, proffered to the viewer, or the way he seems
Amber?
both aware of the beauty
Amber?
of the sunset and totally indifferent to it, that puts a cold fire dancing down Norris's bones. He freezes up. Boland's said to be good, after all. And the urge that has charged every molecule in Norris's body is most certainly not good. Yet Norris can't help himself. He swallows, picks up
Amber?
the magazine with trembling hands, and places it in his bag as he checks out. Even though he pays for the magazine honestly, he feels as if he's stolen the damn thing. He tucks his bag under his arm and hunches over as he walks out. Yet as he leaves, he sees he is being watched. He looks up to see an old, lined face staring at him from the yellowed office windows near the exit.
Micah,
It's Mr.
thank you for the
Macy,
follow.
the
Welcome
shop's
in.
owner. And though he is often genial and pleasant, now his face is fixed in a look of terrible fury. Norris runs out the door and even hides behind a parked truck, watching the store's door and waiting for Macy to follow.
What color do we do
It
the
never
mirror?
comes.
Do we do it like blue,
Norris
or
slinks
do we do it
away,
like a
feeling
silver?
guilty and jittery and
I
nauseous.
don't know.
For the rest of the day, he goes through his normal routine. He eats his tuna sandwiches and watches Howdy Doody on.
I don't know if anyone else has this issue, but you know, I usually do a lot of detail coloring. Just every once in a while, I'll do like flat, like just, I don't know, you know, simple coloring. But I do so much detail coloring sometimes that sometimes I overcomplicate my simple coloring. Porcelain. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Thanks, Franny B.
the TV.
Amber.
He plays darts on his porch and has to turn down an offer from his neighbor to join in. When night falls, he returns inside. Sometimes Norris must remind himself that he's not on friendly territory. Somewhere in the woods, there is a border. and what is on one side of the border is not the same as what's on the other. The roadhouse, he knows, just barely rides that invisible line.
I know.
Most people can cross the line if they wish, but most don't, fearing what would happen if they tried. Yet they can't at all. Norris knows that, and thanks God for it. Since Norris is in here with them, on the inside of the border, he has to be mindful about himself. He turns on all the lights in the house, for to turn them off would look suspicious. He makes sure all his chores are done, all the dishes put away, and the laundry neatly folded and sorted. And as he finishes up, he picks up a stack of books, very nonchalantly, just carrying these books around, no problem here, and begins placing them on random shelves. About halfway through, he comes to the fitness magazine he bought at the store, and he grunts as if to say, "How did this get here?" And he absent-mindedly leaves it on
That's
a shelf
okay.
in the linen
Do
closet of the
you
bathroom,
want me to
making
just
sure
go
it
ahead and
appears as
start
though
the
he just
Givey
set
and it will be a
down on whichever surface was
surprise?
available.
Or do you want to go ahead and pick
Then
something
he decides to
out?
go through the cleaning supplies under his sink.
I wasn't sure what
And
to
again, he
do.
finds something that shouldn't be there.
Help
A
me.
bottle of baby oil. He shakes
Not
his
the
head,
baby oil.
tisking and bemoaning his poor organizational skills, and again returns to the bathroom. Yet, rather than putting the baby oil
Okay,
away,
let me do
he
this
enters the
mirror and
linen
then we'll get
closet
it
with
started.
and shuts the door behind him. In Wink, it's always smart to live your life as if you're being watched, because so frequently you are. Norris blindly reaches out and picks up a waiting flashlight from one of the closet shelves. He turns it on, grabs the magazine.
Okay, we're going to do a surprise
stoops,
Givey
and crawls below the biggest shelf at
as
the
soon as
bottom
I
of the
finish
closet.
this mirror.
There, curled up in the fetal position, his breath trembling and his fingers quivering, he begins to page through the magazine, his eyes devouring every image. Wink has strict rules, and though one of its rules is never to discuss what the rules are, there are certain things
We don't
that
talk
just
about the
don't happen.
rules.
No one gets divorced in Wink, for example. Premarital sex is deeply frowned upon.
Frowned
and pregnancy out of
upon.
wedlock is beyond scandalous. Yet
Scandalous.
there are things even worse than these. Norris isn't sure why, but he's always found it easier to fall in love with men than women. He's just more comfortable around them.
Scandalous.
And he knows it's wrong. It is wrong. Yet he can't stop himself. He can't stop the bolt of energy that sometimes comes rushing out of his heart. He's never really acted on
Poor
it, though sometimes he
Norris.
might desperately wish for physical contact. The brush of knuckles on the back of his hand, perhaps. He can't allow it. His one moment of perfection, his guilting, trembling moment of joy, occurs once a month in the cramped dark of his linen closet, lit
Oh,
only by a flashlight and perfumed with the puerile aroma of baby oil.
oh.
It's the only time he feels happy and whole. And each time it's followed by unspeakable self-hate. What a fool he is to follow such passions, and what a coward he is to do so in such a craven way. He's just about to unbuckle his pants when he hears a crash from his kitchen. He sits up so fast he knocks his head on the shelf above him. A single thought cracks through his mind like a carabiner.
All
He's been
right.
found out. They know what he is. He sits in the closet for a moment.
No
listening,
worries. Welcome back. We're about to do a
But he
Givey.
hears no other noise. Then, slowly, he emerges from the closet, making sure to leave the baby oil and the fitness magazine hidden below piles of bed sheets. He looks down his hallway.
Scandalous.
He grabs the only
Scandalous.
weapon he can find, an old brass candlestick, and, feeling like a cartoon out of Clue, he stalks down the hall.
Hello, Sylvie. We're about to
He
do a
finds his French press
Givey. You're
fallen
just in
off the top of the
time.
stove and shattered on
It's
the
a
kitchen
surprise
floor.
Givey, okay?
He can't
Amber's
imagine how
picking
this
it
could
out.
happen.
We'll let you
Yet it
know
seems
when you
innocent
win.
enough. He
I
sighs,
guess. Is
relieved,
that allowed?
puts
I
the
don't even
candlestick on
know.
the kitchen counter and stoops to pick up the glass. It's as he's on his hands and knees, brushing
Sweets,
shards
thank you
into a
for the
paper towel,
follow.
that he hears the hiss.
Franny said, what are we
It's
listening
just sheer
to?
coincidence that he looks up and sees the severed tube
Thank
resting
you. We're
against
just
the
doing an
wall
easy
behind his
peasy
study.
tonight.
And isn't the air at the mouth of the severed tube awful shimmery? And what is that smell in the air? Norris's eyes shoot wide, and he stands up.
Okay,
and
apparently
bolts
I
out of
can't
his house,
spell
stumbling out
surprise.
the back door to his porch. He jumps his fence and peers back through a crack, watching his house for any sign of movement. He isn't sure how they got in, but someone's broken into his house and cut his gas lines, he's sure. Just the tiniest
I
spark
should put
could
the
have set
comment
whole
as
thing
not
off.
the baby oil, but
why
I'm
would
not going to
someone do
do
that?
that to y'all. I'm not going to do
Is
that.
it because of what he was about to do? Was it a message? A cloud drifts over the moon, and Norris absently glances
All right, this
up
is
at it.
sponsored by
He
Amber,
does a
y'all.
double take and
Thank
freezes as he
you.
realizes he's just broken another cardinal
Thank you,
rule of Wink.
Amber.
He's outside his property at night. And he's committed worse crimes than what he was about to do in the limo.
I was afraid I'd get
passenger.
reported.
Isn't it possible that what they really wanted to
All
do
right.
was flush him out of his house to the dark?
It is
where he'd be
published, so
vulnerable?
y'all, if you don't see it,
As he
swipe out,
realizes
swipe back
this,
in.
a
Make sure y'all
soft,
give Amber some
twinkling light creeps across
love.
the fence and around him. Its source is behind him, and he knows he shouldn't look at it. Yet he turns. Down the hill is the start of the forest, and there are lights in the trees. Lights like will-o-wisps, slowly orbiting a few of the trunks. Some lights are pale blue, others a soft pink. They're so beautiful and enchanting that Norris can't help himself. He walks down the hill to them, wishing to touch them and hold them. Yet somehow they elude him. They always seem a few more feet away, circling the next few trees over, rather than the ones he'd thought. And soon he's deep within the forest, wandering under the dark, whispering pines. He enters a wide, grassy glade. The will-o-wisp lights go out, and Norris stands there confused. Then someone enters on the opposite side of the glade. It's difficult to see in this faint light, but he thinks he can see a small, elderly figure in white shirt sleeves and a red bow tie. Yet the face is dark. Just as he begins to think the person is familiar, the image flickers like the flame of a candle, and as it does, the moon seems to dim too, and the glade grows deeply dark. So dark, Norris cannot even see what's in front of him. "Hello?" he calls, and he walks forward, arms outstretched, trying to find the man on the other side of the glade. He thinks he's close when he hears breathing. Relieved, he turns toward it. But as he grows near, he finds it no longer sounds like normal breathing. The air is passing through too many passageways, he thinks. And some of them seem to rattle, as if they're filled with mucus.
Ooh.
He stops. Something is standing just beside him underneath the tree, and it's not a little old man. He can just see it out of the corner of his eye, and he glimpses something low and broad and chitinous. And what tops it is not a head, but a mass that appears somehow nasal to him. A sphenoidal lump riddled with gaping conchae and sinuses. Yet clutched under the upper shelf of two of these cavities are two pieces of anatomy he recognizes. Eyes. Very human, very clear eyes, with pupils and corneas watching him. He opens his mouth to scream, but it never gets out. The thing falls on him, and he feels hard and rigid limbs grasp his back and pull him to it. And something fleshy and many-headed, like a sea anemone, he thinks, even as he struggles against it, wraps itself around his mouth, pries his lips open, and begins to worm its way into his throat. Then
Ew.
things go dark. Norris awakes with the dawn. He groans and rolls over and cracks an eye. He's lying on his gravel driveway with what feels like most of its pebbles digging
I
into his
stink
back.
with doing,
But that isn't the most
picking out
painful
skin
thing.
colors.
The worst of it is his skin, for it feels like 1,000,000 mosquitoes have been feasting on him while he slept. He sits up, scratching, and expecting to see many frog belly white lumps lining his arms and hands.
White.
He stops. For what is on his
You
skin,
know what? I think I want to do
or rather,
it.
underneath it,
Yeah, this is
is
fine.
not mosquito bites at all. Norris is covered with what looks like some horrific fungal infection.
Oh, no.
Bands of virulent black stretching across his arms and hands and belly. It's not on his skin, but below it, and the skin itself is pebbled and moist. But this is not the worst thing, nor is it the thing that will send him running down the street screaming. For though the infection is horrendous, the most unnerving thing is that its many splintered webs and rings are not distributed randomly about his body. Quite the contrary. Their arrangement obviously resembles letters, and what those letters spell is the same thing: written over and over again.
He's in trouble.
Get out.
For the baby oil.
Chapter 15. Wink isn't perfect.
We're making good progress.
Its residents are well aware of that.
It's called
But then
Cat
they
Mom
say no place is
by
perfect.
Vivi Tinta. I'll show you the
There's
cover
always
just
a few
one
mild
second.
irritants you have to put up with, no matter where you go.
It's super cute.
So Wink is really no different, is it? No, they say. It really isn't. For when night falls and the blue lightning blooms in the sky, things change. It's something in the very air. Suddenly the googie architecture and the pleasant white wooden cottages no longer look so spotless. Street lights seem dimmer, and the neon signs appear to have more dead insects clogging their tubing than they did during the day. People stop waving. In fact, they hunch over and hurry back inside with their eyes downcast. It's very regular to have strange experiences at night in Wink. For example, in Wink, it's common to wake up with a powerful feeling that someone is standing in your front or backyard. It's never known to you whether this stranger has come to your house in particular.
Yes, y'all get in that
he or she
givey.
is watching you and your family. The stranger is simply there, shadowy and still.
And thank you to Amber. Y'all
What's
give her
most
some
exceptional
love.
about
Give her
this
follows.
Is that all of it is conveyed
This is the
only
life
in
of a cat
feeling,
mom. There's 40
an
pages.
irrational conviction,
It's really cute.
like that of a dream. Most people in Wink don't even look out their windows when this occurs, mostly because they know
Okay,
doing so
see you
would
in a
prove the conviction
minute.
true. For there is a stranger on your lawn, dark and faceless and
It
still.
is cute.
And moreover, seeing that stranger has its own consequences. There are houses in Wink.
And then if
where
we
no
finish
one
this
ever
page
sees
and we're
anyone
still
going in
on,
or out.
I'm thinking
If the
about doing
lawn
this
is clean,
page
the
next.
trees are trimmed, and the beds are full and blooming. And sometimes at night, if you were to look, and of course you wouldn't,
It's really
you might
cute.
see pale faces
sure.
peeping out of the darkened windows. In the evening in Wink, it's normal for a man to take the trash out to the back alley. And as he places the bag in the trash can, he will suddenly hear the sound of someone speaking to him from nearby. And he will look and see that the speaker stands behind the tall wooden fence of the house behind his. And he will be unable
Oh,
to discern
cat
anything besides
dad.
the shadow
How
of the speaker's figure
cute.
and the light from his neighbor's windows filtering through the pickets. What the speaker is whispering to him is unknown, for it will be in a language he's never heard before and could never mimic. The man will say nothing back. It is crucial he say nothing back. And he will walk away slowly, return to his house, and not mention it to his wife or family. In the morning, there will be no sign of anyone's having been behind the fence at all. In the morning in Wink, people frequently find that someone has gone through their garbage or left footprints all over their lawn. On discovering this, they will set everything to rights, replacing the garbage or smoothing over the grass. And they will not complain or discuss it with anyone. There are very few pets in Wink. The few pets
Oh,
people
no.
own are decidedly indoor pets. The outdoor wandering pets are unpopular, for they have a tendency to never come home in the morning.
Good luck, yes. Good luck.
On the outskirts of Wink, where the trees end and the canyons begin, people often hear fluting and cries from down the slopes. And on very clear nights, one can see flickering lights of a thin, unnerving yellow, and many dark figures standing upright and still on the stones. They're trying to remember. They are trying to remember their home, where they came from.
Hey guys, if you are just coming in or you're new here, hi, I'm Tristan. I do live coloring daily. Usually I take Wednesdays off. Every once in a while, I'll take Sunday off. And on Tuesdays, we listen to an audiobook and color. I usually do a little bit more elaborate coloring on lives, but tonight I just want to keep it simple. It's really hot. It's been really hot. I know everybody's dealing with the heat, and I just didn't feel like the brain power for that. So we're doing something simple. And I'm enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying it. Y'all get in that givey. Amber, can we get you pinned real quick? Y'all make sure y'all go show Amber some love. Give her a follow if you're not. She does a lot of giveys around here, sponsor giveys. I host, but most of them come from her. And we do have a couple other sponsors. Thursday, we're starting our next color along paper. our next color along page in the Dooley Bugs book is the Dalmatian page. And we're gonna be, that's our engagement night, so it's a big night. Y'all charge your tappers. There'll actually be a lot of sponsors that night. Amber is gonna have some sponsored stuff. Barbara's gonna have some sponsored stuff. Megan's gonna have some sponsored stuff, and of course you'll get some stuff from me. So Thursdays are our big night, so y'all come hang out. We're excited. We love to give back to you guys. And if you're not in our Discord, message a mod, or me or a mod, and we will get you in. That's where you can keep up with all the information on the schedule for the week and just collaborate with other creators in general as a big team. So I love you guys. So excited. We're about to have a winner, and then we will let you know what you won.
And they're trying to remind themselves.
Actually, let me pause that until we see. Our winner is Night Owl. Night Owl, please reach out to Amber here to get your address confirmed. Congratulations. And Amber, what did they win? What did they win? And if I have it, I'll show. If not, send me a picture and I'll share it. But congratulations, Night Owl. Whoop whoop. All right. And we're going to resume our book when Amber lets us know what you want. I'll let you know.
That now this is home, here in Wink. The residents of Wink know about all these things to the extent that they wish to. They tolerate them as one would a rainy season or some pestering raccoons. Because, after all, no neighborhood is perfect. There will always be a few problems, at least.
Oh, okay, okay, no worries.
People can make arrangements if they want. Chapter 16.
Oh, and if you are new here, I think I may have failed to tell you that it's just Tuesdays that we do our audiobook. Mondays, I do beginner-friendly coloring tutorials, and we usually walk through a how-to guided coloring book. Tuesdays, I usually just color whatever I'm working on. I've been in the Bobby Goods book, but tonight we're taking it easy. But every Tuesday, we listen to the audiobook. Wednesdays, I'm off. Thursdays is our big engagement night, like I was talking about. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I usually just color. And then, you know, I share my palettes with you guys. I share tips and tricks, answer any questions that you have about what I'm doing or what I'm using. And we just chit-chat and have a good time. Saturday nights, sometimes we do group coloring and coloring challenges. So, okay, Sylvie, see you soon. So it's just that we try to have a good time. Tuesdays is a little more like our sensory night where it's a little more chill and relaxed. But we're usually like hooting and hollering and having a good time and all that. So we're happy you're here. And we'll resume chapter 16.
It's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning, and Tom Bolin is ass over head, military grade, wearing more booze than he's ingesting drunk. He's sitting on the floor of his shadowy little corridor with a stock ticker. And for the past 2 hours, his lone companion has been a 750-milliliter bottle of Bushmills, what Bolin thinks of as a polite-sized bottle of booze. And it's been a pretty good companion as far as Bolin's concerned, for he said a great deal of controversial things, and the bottle hasn't vocally dissented yet. He'll pay for this in the morning, and it won't just be the hangover. His indigestion will be nothing short of mutinous. But he doesn't care. It's been a goddamn difficult couple of days. No man of his, not Dee, Norris, Zimmerman, or any of the few others, can get within a mile of Wink without something going wrong. And not stepped in dog shit wrong, but nearly crushed by a falling piano wrong. Dee's tires got slashed while he was in the corner store. And someone left an ice pick stabbed in the cushion
So
of
is
the
she,
driver's seat.
what do y'all want to put in her makeup
Zimmerman
compact? Do we want to do it powder or blush? I feel like maybe blush because it's on her cheeks, but y'all let me know.
Jesus.
Aaliyah, Zizu, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Maddie says blush. Aaliyah says blush.
But when they
I
started
agree.
to crack and ooze.
Caffeine Mommy says blush.
Bolin knows it's all a message. In the case of Norris,
All right, let's do it.
a bit too literally. Someone knows who the trigger men were and wants them to skip town. He knows he's lucky they didn't just kill anyone, or whatever it is they do to people. Boland's taken this personally. His crew was never supposed to be at risk. Boland isn't the world's greatest boss, that he knows. But he's not going to sit idly by while his boys get circled by sharks. But he's also never confronted the people in Wink on anything, ever. And isn't it time, he thinks, to stop calling them people? But Boland doesn't really have a name
Are
for
they
what
not
they are.
people?
He thinks of the man in the Panama hat, not as a person, but as an index finger poked up into this place from deeper waters. And perhaps the finger has a smiley face drawn in its pad, and it's wearing silly...
Okay, what kind of blush?
So it looks like a person.
Like pinky red blush or like an
Really, it's
orangey
connected
blush?
to a lot more down
What do y'all
below.
think?
An extremity of something vast. Which explains all the Dutch courage currently bubbling away in Boland's gut. The stock ticker comes to life at the end of the hallway. Boland sits up, then lurches to his feet as the
Soft
bronze
pink?
contraption spits out a little tiny
Moonchild
paper.
says pink.
Who is the girl?
All right.
The girl?
Let's see, maybe the
says Boland.
Arctics.
You're seriously asking about the girl? My
What do
boys
y'all
are under
think?
fire and you're still on about that goddamn girl?
Like this soft pink.
We did everything you said, and you told us we'd be protected. We wouldn't come to any harm. Where's your goddamn protection now?
That's what I was thinking. Let's do
There's a pause.
415.
He feels the stock ticker is a little
I got
taken
it
aback by
from
his response.
Etsy.
He's never smarted off to them before.
I just
Finally, it begins
typed in the
writing.
search.
Did you
Oh wait, I
deliver
lied. I
the
didn't type in the
next
search.
totem?
It's a bundle.
The skull? Says Boland.
It's a bundle that comes with all kinds of coloring sheets, and they've got all kinds of different swatch charts. And if you scroll down a little bit on my page, there's a video that talks about them. But it's on Etsy, and it's just like a coloring practice bundle, like 50 page.
Yeah, we dropped the thing off earlier tonight. It writes, then you have nothing to worry about. How do you fucking think? In response, the ticker spits out one word. Terrified. Boland eyes the slip of paper blearily. You think that'll frighten them off? The stock ticker doesn't answer, as if to say, clearly. Boland isn't sure how an inanimate object can appear snooty, but somehow the stock ticker pulls it off. When it begins printing again, it's a familiar question. Who is the girl?
That is such
Besides,
a pretty pink.
Her name's
It's very
Mona Bright.
makeup-y, like,
Word is
for
she's
real.
inherited a house in Wink. How the fuck something like that happened is beyond me. She hasn't done much more than move into the place, which I don't know anything about. No one's lived there for like 30 fucking years or some such. She's asking questions, but none of them are dangerous. Mostly she asks about her mother, who apparently worked at Coburn when the place was still ticking, but no one's heard of her. She must have left Wink before... He pauses, aware that he's touching on a very
I'm going to
sensitive
try this
subject.
140 as a
Everything happened.
shadow, but it may not be dark enough. These
He expects
pastels
a
are
quick
really
response, but none
light.
comes. He glances around the hallway awkwardly. Hello? He asks. He wonders if he's offended them.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely
it's
don't
noise,
like
it's
that he
noise.
knows where they came from, or at least when they came. But then the stock ticker begins typing again. Her mother. Boland stares at it drunkenly. What? It writes, you are sure she said her mother. He remembers the damn thing can't punctuate. It must have meant her mother? Yeah, he says. She talked to a
What
couple
color
of
hair
people
do we
in town
want?
about it. That broad at the courthouse, the one you hate for one. I don't know.
Oh,
if
wait,
she
hold on.
found
Before I get sidetracked, let's put some blush on
another
her.
long pause. Then, you are positive? Boland isn't sure if he feels more confused or irritated. They've never asked so many questions before. Yes, he says. Yes, I'm sure. I've had 4 people verify it, though my boys almost got scalped finding it out. Is there anything you want us to do about it? There's another pause. This one the longest yet. He can tell they're thinking very hard wherever they are. He feels a little
Okay,
satisfied
do we want
by
blonde hair or
that.
brown
It's nice
hair?
to see them confused. Then it begins ticking again. Do nothing. That's it, says Bolin. You want me to just sit tight? You can't even tell me what'll go down tomorrow? The response from the ticker is almost as short and
Soft
sweet as the
start?
last one. It reads, absolute chaos.
Soft dark brown.
Chapter 17. That night,
With a
Mona
blue
sleeps.
bow. Well,
It is,
Cozy
again, good
Studios,
sleep.
I was nervous about doing red or orange because I thought about that with her freckles, but we've got the orange cat, and I'm afraid it'll be, you think it'll be clashy, too much orange?
Hard and black and solid. And just as before, Mona dreams. She dreams she's standing on the front walk to her mother's house.
Let's do
It's
this
night,
honey brown.
and the trees dance in the wind. She can see there's a light on in the front window.
We're
And under the
keeping
light
it
is a
easy
mattress.
peasy, so
And someone,
bear
a
with
black-haired
me.
girl, a black just like her own hair, is sleeping there on her side with her face turned away from the window. Mona walks up to the front door and places her hand on the knob. Then she looks back. There are people in the street. They're watching her as if they expect something from her.
Oh, shoot.
They look a little like some people
Well,
she's seen around Wink.
I started the
Just
brown, my bad.
acquaintances she's met. There is Franklin, the cook from Chloe's, and Mrs. O'Cleary, who works part-time as the mail lady, and so on. Yet their faces are obviously masks. Masks made of papier-mâché with hard, ragged angles. Their eyes are dark and empty, their mouths twisted into queer frowns. Behind them, beyond the light of the street lamp, are other figures watching her. But though she can't see much of them in the darkness, they don't look much like people. Some are low and many armed. Others are tall and spindly, as if they're made of glass. And somewhere behind them all is a fluting sound, like a broken pipe organ. Mona turns back and opens the door. It doesn't open onto the foyer. Rather, it opens onto a single long, dark hallway. Shaded lamps on the wall cast little pools of yellow light. Mona can see there is something at the end of the hallway, maybe a light, but she can't tell what it is. She glances back at the paper-faced people. They stare back at her expressionless. She turns away and walks down the hallway. The hall seems to go on forever. At some point, the floors and ceiling begin shuddering, as if there's an earthquake nearby. Puffs of dust twirl down from the ceiling, and somewhere there is a low rumble. At the other end of the hallway is a mirror. Not just a mirror, a bathroom. She sees the drooping Dali-esque faucets and realizes it's the
Faz,
upstairs bathroom.
thank you for the follow,
The one that
Aaliyah.
got
Thank
struck
you
by
for the
lightning.
follow. I'm not
Mona
sure if I
can see
said
herself
that.
approaching in the mirror.
Not
Yet
the
is it her?
mirror.
As she walks by one lamp, it looks almost like her mother smiling at her. She comes before the mirror and gazes into it. The
Yes,
rumbling
it turned out
increases,
good.
and the walls shimmer.
I like this color.
Then her reflection smiles at her, raises a hand, and waves. Mona looks at it for a moment, then waves back. Her reflection raises a finger. Watch. Then it reaches up to the light in the ceiling and plucks at it. The light goes out in the mirror, and suddenly there's a tiny pearl of luminescence in her reflection's hand, like she's stolen the light out of the bulb. Mona glances up at the light bulb on her side of the mirror. The light is still on, unstolen. Her reflection holds up the pearl of light, showing it to Mona. Then she opens her mouth wide, and she lifts the pearl up and places it far back in her throat, past her tongue. And when she does, her eyes and nose light up, and Mona sees that her reflection is utterly hollow. And where she once had eyes, she has ribbed, cavernous sockets, like those of a
Ew,
jack-o'-lantern.
y'all, this is creepy.
Her reflection keeps shoving the light down her throat, farther and farther, and then she tilts her head forward and stares at Mona with those empty eye sockets. A hollow puppet person with barely any skin. Then, Mona hears the screaming, and she wakes up. She's in her bedroom, on her mattress. The wind is whipping about the house, and every window is filled with rustling trees. And at first, Mona thinks she imagined the screams. But then a fresh peal rings out from upstairs, the high-pitched shriek of a terrified child, and Mona leaps out of bed. She's halfway up the stairs when she realizes she has her gun in her hand. Old habits die hard, she guesses, but she doesn't have time to think about that because the person upstairs is screaming again. Mona wheels about when she reaches the second floor and homes in on the source. She stops. The door to the lightning-struck bathroom is shut, but the light is on inside. She can see it through the cracks around and underneath the door, and someone on the other side is screaming. She lowers her gun and slowly walks to the door. She places one hand on the knob and remembers the image of her hollow reflection with carven pumpkin eyes. She braces herself, turns the knob, and throws the door open. At first, she can see nothing but smoke, but then a great gust of wind blows through the room and clears it out, and Mona sees there is someone in her tub, a child-sized person looking away from her with its head bowed. But it's not a child. Not anymore, for its scalp is black and smoking, and its fingers are withered, and Mona can see bone.
I forgot what orange I used.
Burned away from its jaw.
Hold on a minute.
It hears Mona open the door, and it turns to her.
Oh, here it is.
She sees it's a little girl, or it was once. But she sees its eyes have been burned out of its skull, leaving just gaping, blackened sockets. And it opens its mouth, its tongue singed and scarred, and takes a rattling breath and shrieks again, a cry of horrific pain and fear. Initially, Mona is too terrified to see anything more than the girl. But the little cop voice in her brain asks, where did the wind come from? And Mona lifts her eyes from the burned thing in the tub, and she sees that the wall is gone. What's on the other side of the wall is the most awesome and horrifying sight she has ever witnessed. It's a storm, but a storm like no other. Blue bashes of light erupt in the swirling dark clouds, and fires rage throughout Wink. One storm cloud shudders with lightning, and then the lightning slowly, not quickly, but slowly and gracefully descends to touch the ground, like a soundless blue-white finger of pure energy. And where it touches, flames sprout up, and a pillar of smoke comes barreling up to join the dark sky. So many buildings burn. There's so much smoke and so many dark clouds. Yet Mona feels there's something else wrong, something larger, yet more subtle. It takes her a bit to realize there's been a change in the landscape on the horizon. The mesa is wrong. It's not a mesa at all anymore, but a mountain. It no longer ends in a wide, flat top, but keeps ascending to a towering point. She can see the silhouette of it even from here, through the smoke and the fire and the clouds. It's as if someone sneaked in and delivered a mountaintop while no one was watching. The mountaintop trembles. What new catastrophe is this, Mona wonders. Is it an earthquake or an avalanche? Yet then, the entire top shifts to one side, and while any glancing familiarity with physics would make one think the whole thing should come tumbling down now, it doesn't. The mountaintop shifts back, swaying slightly, almost like a tree. Then Mona spots some protrusions on the edge of the mountaintop. They're familiar. From this angle, they appear to rise out of the slope and withdraw in an almost organic, reactive motion. And when she sees them, Mona's mouth falls open. Her mind staggers to understand it. It can't be. That can't have happened. Yet she knows what she saw. There was no mistaking the silhouette that rose up from the mountainside, then fell. Fingers. Fingers from an enormous hand. Mona stares at the fires and the mountain, dumbfounded. Then the girl in the tub howls again, jarring her from her fixation. Jesus Christ, Mona says, and she turns and bounds back downstairs to the phone, because she knows the limits of her first aid skills, and that charred child is well beyond them. The aquamarine phone is in the corner, as always.
Did I miss something? Is she dreaming? What's going on?
The rotary. There's popping on the line, like the phone is trying to find a connection. Then it begins ringing, but no one answers. Come on. Come
Whoop,
on.
whoop. Thank y'all so
Then she stops and
much.
lifts her head. She
Oh,
listens.
shoot.
There are no more screams, and the wind has died. Everything is silent. The phone keeps ringing. She hangs up before anyone can answer. Then she walks to the window and looks out. No pillars of smoke. The night is calm and peaceful. She stares out the window for a while.
I guess
stupefied.
AI is a better
Then she
listener than
tilts
me
her head.
sometimes. It says, a horror story unfolds with a girl's nightmare. Guess what happens next?
Listening.
I just be
She
zoning out
hasn't heard a
sometimes.
scream
Sorry.
since she picked up the phone. She walks to the foot of the stairs and looks up. She can see no lights on upstairs. Her gun is still in her hand. She lifts it and places her finger just above the trigger. Then she begins silently moving upstairs.
Okay, what
The
colors do we
second
do
floor is
her
totally
outfit
dark.
and her
She can hear
bow?
no noise at all from any of the rooms. She slowly walks over to the bathroom. The door is shut. But didn't she leave it open when she left? And there's no light on behind the door that she can see. She puts her hand on the knob and for the second time thinks. Then she turns it and slowly pushes the door open. She can see
Dusty
nothing,
pink?
for the room is utterly dark. She waits a bit and reaches out with
That
one
would
hand
tie
and
in
turns
the
on light.
blush.
The bathroom is
I
empty.
like it. Maybe we could do some
And though the
flowers
tub is
on
still
it.
scorched, the wall is whole and there's no smoke. She feels faint at the sight, and she totters forward and feels
Well-
the wall with one hand.
Yeah,
It's
well,
solid and firm.
so the exact color dusty
Mona
pink
looks
I
at her
used
hand and
for
tries
her
again.
hand shadow, so I don't want to do that
wall is
exactly.
still
But
solid.
what about the
Then
pink
she
that we use in the
squats and
blush?
feels the bottom of the tub. The porcelain is cold. It hasn't been used in hours at least. Mona's squat turns into a sit as she falls backward onto the floor of the bathroom. She sets the gun down on the floor with a clunk. She just sits there, unsure of what to do next.
Perfect. And we'll add some like acrylic flowers.
Finally, she stands, gun in hand, and walks downstairs and out the front door. She walks to the middle of the street and stares north. The mesa is there, and it's definitely a mesa again, ending in a plateau. She shakes her head. No, God damn it, she says. No. I am not crazy. No. She sprints across the street, flings open the door of the Charger, leaps in, and starts her up.
Oh shoot, there's part of her arm that I
And
missed.
then Mona, defying every bit of advice everyone in Wink has given her, goes speeding off into the night.
I think it's her arm.
Chapter 18.
Ooh, I would like to get to chapter 20 tonight. That would be about
Comes
halfway
he
through the
walking
book.
windy ways, wandering under spruces and through canyons, and across shadowy glens, hands in his pockets, and head bowed, as if all the weight of the world
Wait,
lies
no, it
teetering on
won't.
his slumped
Why
shoulder.
was I thinking 40 chapters?
Which it
There's
is,
like
in a
70.
way.
Just kidding.
And this is a change of pace for Mr. Macy, he who is so often the delight
But
of
I do
Copper
like an
Street.
even number. We'll
Always
try and
there,
get to
sweeping
20
off his
tonight.
store's front steps and waiting to favor a passersby with a wink or a smile or a piece of bawdy flattery. The very idea of merry old Macy ever falling into a gloomy spell is preposterous, inconceivable.
I
But
know.
Macy is indomitable, unchanging.
I think the whole
Were the town
book
ever
is
washed
like,
away in a freak flood, Macy would remain,
we have 16 hours left in our book. 16 hours of listening time.
still ready with
I think I put it as like 2 months or so for us to finish it. Thank you, Gold Day, for the follow. Welcome in.
snippet of gossip or an idle joke. Yet here he is, making a lonely crossing through the desolate countryside. The pink moon lazily swimming through the purple skies above him. And though Macy may tell himself his midnight perambulations serve some deeper, more secret purpose, he can't deny that partially they serve to relieve his mind of its many burdens. As he winds around the staggered cliffside, he glimpses a flash of lightning over his shoulder. He stops and watches the blue luminescence bloom in the clouds above the mesa, strobing the mountains, the pines, the red rocky flats beyond that seem so much like home. queerly threatening recently.
Okay, let's...
The lightning is soundless, but his ears imagine quiet thunder
Oh,
rolling across the
no.
countryside. It will gather at the mesa. It always gathers at the mesa. And disperse, trailing north and east.
I'm starting to run out of some of my grades too,
Then he
Franny,
cocks
not
his
gonna
head.
lie.
His eyes go searching, curious, tracing over every line of dark on the mountain. He saw something, he's sure of it. Not the brilliant blue of the lightning. No, but a flat box of dull white light, like a window. But what could lie yonder on the mesa, save the remains of the lab with its twisted tunnels and blackened antennae, all sticking up from the ground like barbecue spits?
Ew.
And he is sure there is nothing else there, except the door. Nothing at all. For they would know about it, wouldn't they? He looks, waits, sees nothing, then continues home. His manner of walking is counterclockwise and peripheral, approaching the town always from the side, crossing empty playgrounds and parks and isolated intersections. It's good to move through the forbidden places, the halfway patches.
Oh, and you know what?
Too much time.
Man, Franny, we did use a lot of gray this month because we had the Polaroid challenge, and then rainy day, you know, that can use a lot of grays. And then we're actually about to be using some grays on the Dalmatian page because it's a rainy day. But I'm trying to think about the ones for next month. 2 of them for sure. I don't think you have to have a lot of grays, but I can't remember what the third one was. But if you are a super fan, you already know the winners because they voted. But if you're not a super fan, you'll find out on Thursday night what the challenges are for July. Oh, I do remember what the new one is. The last one. You may need a little gray for shadowing, but you could probably get away with not using it for this month, Franny. Yeah, it really does depend on how you do it. But we're also announced the winner for our June challenges on Thursday and our Superfan Givey on Thursday. So lots of things Thursday.
It's at the center of Wink. Far too much time puttering around his store and among his neighbors. Here at the edges, in the cracks and at the crossroads, stepping from shadow to shadow in the river of darkness that runs through the heart of Wink, he feels much more at home. As he walks under one tree, a harsh buzz sounds out from above. He stops, peers up. Though the tree is dark, he can see the form of a man standing at the top, balanced perfectly on a single branch. The buzz increases, wheedling and reedy, as if telling him to clear off. It's not a sound any human could ever make. Macy watches for a moment, but grows impatient. He has no time for such mannered gestures. "Oh, shut up," he snaps. The thing in the tree falls silent. Mr. Macy glares at it a moment longer, then continues on. Mr. Macy can go anywhere he likes in Wink, any time, but not beyond it. And no one knows more about the town than he does, except perhaps for Mr. Werringer. But Mr. Werringer is dead as a doornail.
What kind of flowers do we want to do? Purple flowers or blue flowers on her
and what does it mean?
outfit?
He wonders as he walks.
Or do we want to do flowers? We can leave alone.
Macy doesn't know. What a foreign concept it is to die. To cough up what you are as if it's no more than mucus pooled at the back of your throat and perish. Where is his friend now? What's happened to him? Where's he gone? Still he wonders. It's this death
Purple.
and the answers about it he so desperately desires that sent Macy on these midnight errands, visiting the hidden residents of Wink and telling them his news and thoughts. Have you heard? And what did you do? Who knew before you? And how and why? Why? Why did they know? Why did they not know? What has happened? What is happening?
I think I'll do the makeup versus this light.
Does anyone know? No, they do not. They, like Macy, like the town, are now alone.
Purple, purple, purple.
He misses Werringer as one would miss a limb. Werringer was always the stabilizing force in town. The rudders steering their little ship
I
across
think we need
dark,
a little
unsteady
darker
seas.
purple than that.
It was his idea to use the names of the town's residents. And are we not residents of the town?
Good
He
night.
said to them.
Lottie, have a good night. Thank you for hanging
I
out.
feel that we are.
We'll be back next
We are part of the
Tuesday
community. And
with
so
the
we should be
story.
named accordingly. Part of the community. Macy badly wishes this were the case. For now, the unthinkable has happened. One of them has died. No, more than that. He has been murdered. How can such a thing occur? Do the seas sometimes float away into the sky? Do the planets crash into one another in their orbits? Can one hold the stars in the palm of one's hand? No. No.
Listen
And
to
so
the
they
AI.
can't.
It says, coloring a horror story character's outfit. Suggest a color for the flowers.
But
I
Macy
can't
has a
do.
few ideas about how this happened. He knows those men at the truck stop had something to do with it. Such weaselly little things with small eyes and cautious movements. He can smell it on them. A heady, reeking perfume of guilt and malice. It's as if they went rolling in it, like dogs. Macy's scared a few out of town, and oh, how he enjoyed doing that. Especially the last one. He's never toyed with the natives like some of the others do. But how fun it was to rouse one of the slumbering ones to join him in his little jest. And that was all he wanted. Kill them. To do, really. Just a joke. Yet how often has he said they should blockade the roadhouse entirely, even detain its employees? It's a threat, a taint to their peaceful way of life. Especially since they started bringing in that drug, the heroin. But it was Weringer who always talked him out of it. Let them be, he would say. They're little people making little fortunes off
Thank
of
you,
little
Maddie,
vices.
for the share.
They're no concern of ours. And were we to do anything about them, I'm certain it would attract attention. And that we do not need. How ironic that those he defended should be the very ones who took his life. And that's the crux of it. The howling, snarling, silly old crux of it. How could men, and poor, stupid, foolish ones at that, ever manage to kill one of them? Hasn't it been said from the start, even decreed, that they are not to die? That they could never harm another or perish?
It's cute.
Oh, Mother, where are you? As long as they waited here? Of course, the answer came from the very last person Macy wanted it to. Nearly all the hidden residents of Wink reacted the same way to the news. They trembled, quaked, asked many questions themselves, before finally admitting they knew nothing, and begging Macy to please let them know once an answer was found. Yet how troubling were those he visited who didn't answer his call. Those caves and canyons and old dry wells he came to and spoke into, and remained silent, though he expected them to emerge.
What do
With
we
the
think
sound
she's
of
getting
rustling
dressed up
scales,
for?
or the burbling
This picture.
of deep waters underground, and turn their attention
Macaroni.
to his being and join him in parley. He now wonders, were they gone? Had they fled? Or were they too terrified by what had happened to even poke their heads out of their makeshift domiciles? And Macy expected old Parson to cower like the rest, or perhaps he wanted him to. For Macy has never liked old Parson, so contemptuous of
She's so
everything
cute.
they try to accomplish.
All right, so to match do we do a purple
But to his
headband?
chagrin, Parson
Like
did
to
none
match
of those
and
things.
look like the flower
Instead,
purple?
he went still.
What do we
and
do?
thought and said,
Or dark purple?
"It's true
Or do we do
that none of
pink?
us is allowed
Or
to
do we do
kill
yellow?
or rather, we promised so.
Oh, no
before we
worries,
came
girl.
here.
We're just chilling.
But did we all make that promise, Macy?" Macy said, "Of course we did. We wouldn't have been allowed to come if we didn't.
The pink that
We
matches
would
the
have been left
dress.
behind. So every one of us did." And Parson said, "But what if there was someone in Wink who, what is the word?
Or like a brighter pink.
Stowed away
The darker
with
pink.
us
Like,
when we came?
what do we do?
Someone who's been
Oh,
living
she's
here
got
in
blue
secret,
jewelry
or
on.
who's unable to
Oh,
get out of
she's all
wherever it
mismatched,
appears
y'all.
they are." Macy said, "That can't be. There's no one else besides us. There's always been
Maybe
us,
she hasn't
only us,
changed
and
her
no one else."
jewelry yet.
Parson said,
Oops.
"But that's not so. There was another. Before all of us. Even me and Mr. First, wasn't there?" Mr. Macy was confused at first. What jabbering was this? Silly old fruit. The loneliness and isolation has gotten to him. But then he realized what the old man was getting at. And as the thought trickled into his brain, he turned white as a sheet. And Macy said, "No, no, you've got to be wrong." Parson only shrugged. Macy said, "You have to be wrong. It can't be here. It just can't be." Parson said, "Many
Yeah,
things that couldn't
true.
be
And then
have
look,
happened
he's got
to
this
be.
blue bow on. It would
But if
match.
it's here,
Okay, let's
wouldn't
do
he
that.
have a very good reason to want to hurt us? And I don't think she would have ever extracted a promise from it. I doubt she even knew it came with us. That is, if I'm right. It is only one
Is
possibility.
this the blue that I used?
Yet the idea resonates in some dark, awful corner of Mr. Macy's heart. It would confirm so many of his worst
Okay, I think this is the
suspicions
blue.
that it must be true. What can one do against such a wood woes?
Yeah, she's gonna put the blue earrings on, the blue blue. She's
It
got
would be
this.
hopeless.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Such a being is beyond comprehension, even for them.
But I feel silly because
And
now
they
I
comprehend
guess
a
we should have
great
done
deal.
blue flowers to match. But oh well,
Macy
it's
looks
okay.
up as he walks.
I could
He's a bit
go over it
surprised to see
again,
what
but
he's come to. A sprawling
it's not that big of a
mid-century modern
deal.
mansion is laid out against the hillside
It's supposed to
before
be
him.
easy peasy night.
It's done in the style of a case study house, with broad, overhanging flat roofs, floor-to-ceiling windows, and a sparkling blue pool dangling over the mountain slope. Though the house is currently dark, you can see white globe lamps hanging from the ribbed steel roofing, and white womb chairs lined up against an elegant Japanese wall screen. It's a house that has absolutely no business being in Wink. It is more suited to Palm Springs or the Palisades than a sleepy little town in northern New Mexico. And Macy says, with a little sigh, home again, jiggity jig." He pulls a set
Now
of keys
the
from his
flowers are
pocket,
acrylic. I could go
takes
over
a
them with a blue
winding path
acrylic
through
if
the
y'all think we need to
perfectly
change
manicured
that.
cypress trees,
But
each
I guess
squared
it's
with
not a
its
big
own
deal.
spotlight, walks up to the front door, unlocks it, and enters his home. The entry hall
I did
is
that the
white.
wrong color.
White.
Oh well, it don't matter.
Terribly white. White marble walls, white marble floors, and what few unwhite spots there are, tables,
White.
pictures, are simply black. This is because Macy doesn't care to see color when he comes home. He's unused to the sensation, and it aggravates him so. Yet there is color, he realizes. There's a splash of color at his feet, screamingly bright. They are the colors called pink and yellow. And once Macy gets past this irritation, he realizes he's staring at a gift-wrapped present sitting in the center of his entry hall. It also features an extremely large pink bow, and attached to this is a white tag.
Oh,
Upon examination, he
pink
finds it reads,
bow.
"Be there soon. M." Macy scratches his head. This, like the sudden intrusion of color, is a new experience for him. He's never received a present before. He wonders what to do with it. Though his familiarity with this process is limited, he knows there is really only one thing to do with a present: open it.
What do y'all
So he
think's
does.
gonna be in the present?
He lifts off the top, and inside are heaps and heaps of pink tissue paper. He prods his way through the top layer, yet finds no gift inside. So he reaches in, arm up to the elbow in pink paper, and he wonders, why would the present not fit in its box? Or, and even he knows this is absurd,
you know
does the
what?
box contain nothing but pink tissue paper? Yet then his fingers brush against something small and dry and rough. Some item nestled among all the tissue paper.
Do y'all think she needs some
He
little
turns back.
eyelashes?
And as he does, he cannot help but notice all the lights in the house flickered a bit just now. Almost exactly when his fingers touch that hidden little whatever it is. Curious,
Maddie
Macy
says
starts
yes.
clawing through the paper, digging past its layers, and he grasps the hard little object. He rips it out, stuck in its own ball of paper, and begins to peel away each pink sheath. And as he does, the form of the object becomes clear, and the lights flicker more and more and more.
She's
Until
so
finally
cute.
the last layer is gone, and his disbelief is confirmed. He holds in his hands a small rabbit skull, its eyes empty and its teeth like little pearls. He turns it over in his hands. And does he feel a door open somewhere in the house, invisible and tiny? A perforation in the skin of the world through which black, Ether comes
What
rushing.
color should we
Examining
do
it
her
and
makeup?
thinking what a bizarre little gift this is. But
Objects.
his examination is interrupted.
We could
There's
do
a clicking
purple
sound
to
in his
tie
hallway.
in
He looks
some
up,
of the purple.
searching for its source, and he tracks to the little black, of course, table at the end of the hall. There's a plate of decorative black marbles on it, and they're all clacking against one another, as if someone
go
is
with
shaking
purple.
the plate. And then something happens that even Macy finds strange. Slowly, one by one, the marble balls lift from the plate and begin floating into the air.
The marble balls, like
Macy stares at this,
eyeballs?
astonished, his eyes beginning to hurt from the flickering lights. He turns and looks at the window at the end of the hall. He can see the reflection of the living room there, and he sees that all his belongings in that room are floating too. The womb chairs dangle in nothing, as if hanging from an invisible string. The copies of Southwestern Steps Outdoors.
Okay, hold on a second.
By.
So I always see the AI summary on my end. Does it show that to people? Because can you imagine someone coming in and being like, what in the world? Listen to what it just said. Because, I mean, I know what's going on in the story, but it's just funny. Unboxing a bizarre gift of a rabbit skull. Help guess the story's next step. I'm like, who is seeing that?
With pages
Oh, Franny
dry.
says, no, I don't see it. Okay.
Then he feels it. A sensation he's not felt in a long, long time. The world is bending. Something from elsewhere, something from the other side is making its way through. Macy rises and walks to his open front door. There's a man standing on the front walk. You know this man. His figure is pale and somewhat translucent, as if his image were rendered in the blue flame of a dying candle. But Macy can see two long horns, or maybe ears, rising up from the sides of his skull. Brother, do you see me? Macy stares at him and whispers, No, it can't be you. It can't be. Yet the figure remains, watching him impassively.
Those Arctic colors
Macy
are
doesn't
so
wait. He
cute.
throws the door shut, locks it, and sprints down the hallway.
All right, what
All
color?
around him, his possessions
Well,
are
I want to
leaving
do
the
this
ground
like
to hang in the
a
air. The
dark,
floor and walls
like
shake
a,
as if the mountain were threatening to cut
let's
the
do this
house
purple
loose
too.
and send it sliding down into the valley. And each room begins to flood with an awful smell, a scent of horrific rot and hay and shit. No, screams Macy. Not you, not here. I didn't do
Kate
anything
creates.
to you. Leave
Thank
me
you for the
alone,
follow.
please. He hits the stairwell, grabs the post, swings himself around, and leaps down the black marble steps.
I don't
Knees
ever use my
protesting
chisel
with
tip.
each
I wanted
bound.
to try it.
The lights in the floor above him are dying out, leaving each room dark, and he feels he can hear something rushing through the house after him, moving with the sound of 1,000 dead leaves striking pavement. The floor below is no different. The filament of each bulb sputters, and everything, chairs, tables, lamps, hangs suspended in the air.
It's just
Macy
not as
dodges these
satisfying.
obstacles and throws himself toward a large black door tucked away under the stairs. He opens it, falls through, and slams it behind him. The other side is dark. Macy, breathing hard, fumbles for the switches on the wall beside him. When his fingers finally find them, he slaps them all on, and the room fills with light. The room is huge, nearly 200 feet on each side, and the ceiling is lined with bright fluorescent lamps. Ordinarily, this room would be the garage, filled with expensive, fancy cars that would suit the taste of the house's owner. But Mr. Macy's garage is totally empty. Nothing but blank, gray surfaces on all sides except the ceiling. This room has one advantage, however. None of its doors have ever been unlocked or used, except the one Mr. Macy has just run through. It is completely barricaded off. How could it be here, he wonders.
We gotta do our good
Such
nude
a thing is
lipstick.
impossible. Yet then he thinks of the invitation. Skull in the box. And he begins to realize that there are many more machinations operating within Wink than he ever suspected. And he has just stumbled into one.
This is gonna be really bright, and I apologize, but we have all
Because
this
he's near the
brightness,
door.
and there's nothing else like that.
Cannot
So
hear anything on the other side, nor can he see any hint of flickering lights through the crack at the
sorry.
bottom.
This reminds me of like the
He
little
wonders what this
kids'
could mean.
makeup, like the fake makeup that comes
Just
in a
as he
little
does,
plastic
the lights
box.
above flicker,
Y'all know what I
just a
mean?
little.
Like the
And he begins to
play
smell
pretend
a horrible
makeup.
odor pervading the room. The smell of an untended barn, stables and coops of livestock lying dead and rotting in the hay. No, he whispers. He sits up and looks around, and he sees he's not alone. There's a man standing in the exact center of the garage. He's very tall, and he stands motionless with his arms stiff at his sides. He wears a filthy blue canvas suit streaked with mud in 1,000 places. And sewn into the surface of this suit are dozens and dozens of tiny wooden rabbit heads, all with huge staring eyes and long, tapered ears. On his face, he wears a wooden helmet, or perhaps it's a tribal mask, whose crude, chiseled features suggest the blank, terrified face of a rabbit, complete with curving, badly carved ears. Where its eyes should be are 2 long, rectangular holes. Somewhere behind these, presumably, are the eyes of the mask's wearer, yet only darkness can be seen. Mr. Macy falls to his knees. "No," he whispers. "No, no." The figure doesn't move. Yet when the lights flicker out and come back on, he is suddenly closer, just yards away. "You can't be here," says Macy. He hugs his chest and wilts before the intruder. "You can't have followed us. You can't have been here all along." The lights flicker again, and the figure in the rabbit suit is closer, standing only a few feet in front of Mr. Macy. He stares up into that blank wooden face and those dark rectangular eyes.
I did not like that
and
highlighted. That shadow I use on here.
Red stars and a huge black pyramid rising from the horizon. And all around it are thousands of broken ancient columns, a place where a people once worshipped things that departed long ago. A scar-pocked hill, at the top of which is a twisted white tree, and from the tree's branches are many swollen, putrid fruits, unplucked and untended for centuries. Endless darkness, stars flickering through the ether, and then empty, sunless cities made of black stone, each leaning.
Thank you, Freddie, for the
warped
taps.
structure abandoned eons ago. All
I thought we were going to try and get to chapter 20 tonight, but goodness gracious, this chapter is so long. I don't know if we're going to make it.
falling through the black forever. A mesa, sharp and hard against the starlit sky.
Nerdykins, thank you so much for the heart me and welcome to the Hot Mess Express fan club.
Begins to leap from cumulus to cumulus, staircases of light waiting to be lowered to the ground. And though the figure doesn't speak, Mr. Macy knows what it's trying to say. And he thinks he sees eyes behind the mask now. They are wild and mad, filled with an incomprehensible fury. The figure's hands, fingers thick and scarred and filthy, are bunched into fists. And slowly, bending at the waist, the figure leans down to him. Mr. Macy begins screaming, and the last thought that enters his mind is, he was right.
He was
Parson
right.
was right. The wildling is in Wink. It has been in Wink all along. Chapter 19.
Oh, shoot.
Mona's driving so fast, she's about halfway across town before she realizes she has no idea.
I'm going to be honest, Crystal. I have had a hard time concentrating tonight. And I'm going to have to go back and listen to some of this again before next week. I don't even feel like I can give you a good synopsis of everything. Like, there's been rabbit skulls and crazy dreams, and I can't even. I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. But I'm going to tell, but you start listening here, and then next week I will make sure we have a good review before we start.
Where she's going. Is she leaving Wink, she wonders? Though that would make sense. The thought never crossed her mind. She jumped in the car with no intention other than just to get away. To get the hell out of the house. And possibly just away from the crawling, nauseating feeling that she's going as batshit crazy as her mother did. Because that would make sense.
Yes, they're still in Wink.
She remembers her mother staring out of windows, describing things that weren't
Pretty
there.
much, Franny B.
Old buildings, thousands of caves, cities in the ice. The similarities are so exact it makes Mona feel physically ill. She needs to talk to someone about what she saw, to articulate it aloud and pick it apart, and let them weigh in on whether or not she's exactly as nuts as she feels. But she doesn't have a single friend in this town. She only talked to Carmen for 10 minutes, and this seems out of her league. And she certainly doesn't trust Mrs. Benjamin, because somewhere in Mona's furious thoughts is the suspicion that that crazy bitch's mirror trick is the cause of all this. It opened something in her head, or maybe a lot of somethings, and now she feels like she's seeing double all the time. There's the peaceful...
Well, an AI summary just said, a live story time of a horror novel about a man trapped in a strange house. So there you go.
...town of Wink, but behind that is something much stranger. Like one piece of wallpaper pasted over another, yet she can see both at once.
Okay.
But evidently, there is someone she
What
can go
color
to,
do we need to
where she
do,
looks
like,
up as if waking
the
from a
bottom
dream,
part
and finds that not only is the car stopped,
of this
but
mirror?
it's parked before the manager's office at the Ponderosa Acres. A shadow splits the golden stream of light pouring through the door, and the form of Parson comes shuffling into view. He looks at her. Her fingers are still clutching the wheel. He scratches his chin and gives a deep, amused, Help, says Mona softly. He looks over his spectacles at her. I beg your pardon. Mona manages to let go of the wheel, open the car door, and hobble out. You've got to help me. Help you what? Mona wonders how she can possibly phrase this. I really don't know. I think something's really wrong with me, Mr. Parson. How so? She thinks for a long time, feeling ashamed of what she's about to admit to. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm seeing things. He raises his eyebrows and waits for more. I'm seeing two things at once. Seeing people and places here, and something else.
Maybe this...
I saw the goddamn lightning storm from 30 years ago through my own wall. Did you? He doesn't sound alarmed at all, but quite intrigued. Well, I'm
Should we
unused
do
to
a
having
pink
so many
mirror?
people come to me for advice.
Or a dark purple
But I admit,
mirror, like
it's not
the
unpleasant.
flowers. I'm thinking
Please
dark
come in.
purple, maybe.
He says, extending a hand to the door.
Purple's
She
my favorite
enters, and his
color.
office is almost the same as before, though now only The Lonely is playing on the radio. He turns to face his card table. A game of Chinese checkers is again in progress, and says, Will you please excuse us? Mona looks at him, then the table. It's totally empty. She's not sure whom he could be addressing, but he shuts the door as if whoever it was has just left. He gets her a cup of coffee and gestures to the card table. She sits at one chair, he at the other. Her chair is unpleasantly warm, as if someone was just sitting in it. And of course someone was, she reminds herself. Parson was just sitting here, wasn't he? Now, he says, and he takes a long, messy slurp of coffee. Why don't you tell me what happened? And she does. She tells him about the dream she's been having, and Mrs. Benjamin's mirror trick, and the tea closet, and the horrifying
Hey, I do
glimpse
remember
of the
all
lightning
that.
storm she's heard so much about. I mean, is it possible I imagined it? She asks. I got told about the storm so many times, maybe I just thought up what it looked like and then hallucinated it. Parson says slowly. No, I doubt that. You do? She says relieved. Then what could it have been? How could I see something like that? Parson is still for a long
And then I do
time.
remember about the man in the
He looks
closet
at
with the
Mona,
baby oil.
and though she
But it was after
suspected
that I
he'd seen
started
her,
having a hard time
she now feels
concentrating.
a terrible intelligence in that gaze, like he's trying to silently communicate many things to her. You know by now that Wink is different, correct? She wonders what that means, but says,
And that what I'm gathering is someone from
There are some
another,
things
from
I can't
American
discuss about it,
elsewhere,
right.
has followed
And
them
some
there
things I
and like
cannot.
are starting to kill off
I
the
am not
beings.
permitted to, I should say.
Ah.
But since you have experienced this firsthand, I don't feel I would be giving you information you are not already
The
reading.
beings that aren't supposed to
He takes
die.
another contemplative sip of coffee.
And like things never change in Wink,
probably
but now
will
things
not
are starting to
believe me if
change
I
because
tell you.
of these
I
beings
might.
being killed off.
We shall see, he says, indifferent.
I don't know.
In my time here, I have found that there are places in Wink where things do not precisely work right. Not like pipes or plumbing or electricity. Specifically, time no longer works right. Time? Yes. Please forgive me. I'm not familiar with all the terminology, so here. Imagine time as a clock with many gears and wheels. An easy enough metaphor, I imagine. But some gears have some damage or imperfection in them that causes them to sometimes catch and skip back several notches and run again. You see? I certainly fucking don't. What I am saying, he says, is that what you experienced was not, I feel, a hallucination or a symptom of some madness within you, or he thinks for a while, searching for the word, brain. But rather you were witness to this occasional skipping of the gears. The time where you were was damaged, so you saw something that had happened already. It is common enough, I expect, though understandably you were quite perturbed. The wind rises outside the motel. It sounds unusually sharp, and even Parson appears a bit disturbed by it. How can time be damaged? Asked Mona. You can't hurt time like it's a fucking engine or something. Parson raises an eyebrow. And you would know this how? Wink is goddamn weird, but it can't be... You can't have something like that happen. Things like that aren't real. I said I didn't think you would believe it, he says mildly. It is always possible for time to be nonlinear. Some perceive time to be in a straight line. Others perceive it as having many different branches, like those of a tree, leading to could-have-beens and might-have-beens and should-have-beens and so on. The idea of seeing the past is not an extraordinary one. Are you really saying I saw the past? A few seconds of it. Unfortunately for you, the past in that place was quite troubled. I think if you saw the past of some place else, say some park or closet, you would have hardly noticed anything at all. You would have simply experienced some feeling of wrongness, like there was a change in light before things reverted to normal. The past, for you people, is often not very different from the present, beyond some superficial differences. Mona remembers the way the town was lit up with flaming houses, and how the lightning slowly
What color do we
snaked
do
down
down
to
here?
brush the earth. So
What do y'all
that
think?
was the thunderstorm? Parson shrugs.
Should we do it
You
light
saw it.
purple?
I did not. Yet Mona knows she saw something worse than the burning town and the charred girl in the tub. Do you know if when the storm came there was something on the mesa? Something standing there like a person would? But bigger? Much, much bigger? Parson gives her a very closed look and shrugs again. You don't know? His face grows grave.
Down
I cannot
here.
say. You can't say or you don't know.
That's okay.
Parson
Do we
frowns
do
and sips his
purple
coffee.
again and just
Doesn't
keep
look
them
up in
both
the
the
eye.
same? Or do we do a second
So how
for the
does something
stand?
like time get damaged? Now Parson looks positively anxious. Outside the wind keeps rising, and there's a burst of static on the radio. I am not permitted
Or do we do a
to
lighter
say,
purple? The
he
light
says.
purple.
What do you mean?
I think the light
Why
purple would be
not?
cute, actually.
I am sorry, but it is not allowed, he says. And when he sees Mona's irritated glare, he adds, I cannot.
I think we
There
should do
are
the light
rules."
purple.
What the hell do you mean? Whose fucking rules? He blinks slowly and exhales, as if he is suffering from a tremendous migraine. Mona notices sweat beginning to shine on his forehead. I am sorry, Miss Bright, but I am
Yes,
not permitted to say
Jinx.
much more than what I have. It would be indecent for me to say more upon this matter. He gives her a pained look, and Mona begins to wonder if discussing this subject is physically hurting him, like every word he says wounds him in some hidden manner. Just telling her that he can't tell her appears to be making him sick. Can you tell me about Benjamin's mirror trick? She asks. Is that what did this to me? Parson looks relieved to have changed the subject. Ah, well, I doubt it, he says. The mirror trick was precisely that. A trick, or a small and largely meaningless show. But it changed something in me. It did not change anything, I believe. It simply made you aware of something that was already there. And what is it that's there? You have spent several weeks here, long enough to know that this place is not normal, by your standards. But do you ever feel, Miss Bright, a sense of kinship with this town? A sense of familiarity? Like you've walked these streets before? Or rather, you have felt throughout your life a quiet type of pain, a nostalgia for a place to which you've never been. I think I see such a thing in you. Am I wrong? Mona feels a warmth in her palm and realizes she is trembling and has spilled coffee on her hand. She places the coffee cup on the card table. Yes. Yes. I feared it was that way when you first came. We don't have new arrivals in Wink, Miss Bright, unless, that is, they are supposed to be here. And how you came to this place is extraordinarily troubling to me. Why? Parson opens his mouth to answer, but then the motel is absolutely blasted by wind. Tree branches and whirling leaves strike the sides of the building, and the windows flex and quiver in their frames. There's another burst of static on the radio, long and loud.
We're about to have another
It might be Mona's
started and
imagination,
finished
but it
picture on
almost
here.
sounds like there's a voice. Parson looks around, stands up, and murmurs, "Oh dear. What is it?" He walks outside. And as
That's
soon as he
exciting.
is beyond the doors, his clothing balloons up and whips about from the gales. Oh dear. Dear. They are quite upset. Who? Asks Mona. What's going on? He looks up, appearing to consult the stars and the moon, and then he cocks his head and listens. There's been another murder. A what? She stands and joins him at the door, but he quickly says, "Do not come outside, Miss Bright. It is very dangerous out here right now." What the hell are you talking about? What was that about a murder? Someone else has been killed, he says. He holds up a hand, asking for silence, and listens more. It is Mr. Macy. Macy? The old man from the store? You're saying he's been killed? Yes,
We're
says Parson.
almost done.
How do you
with
know? He looks around, as if he can
Just
read
in time to
something
finish
the
chapter
quivering
19,
pines,
I think.
or hear it in the wind. I know. He gives a
Hey,
deeply
Sylvie.
disappointed sigh. I'm coming back inside. Mona stands aside as he comes back in to sit at the card table. He looks quite shaken. This will not be good, he says. Not at all. Another death. Who was the first? Asks Mona. But she already knows the answer. Mr. Weringer? It was him,
Yay.
wasn't it? The guy whose funeral I
Finish
interrupted.
cleaning.
Parson nods. But I was told it wasn't foul play. You should know by now that what people say in Wink is often not very truthful, Parson says. She laughs bitterly. No shit. So what's going to happen now? Parson stares into his game of checkers, looking from bead to bead.
We
Finally, he
add
raises his head and studies Mona. She doesn't care at all for the look in his eye. You seem like someone used to death. Am I wrong? I don't know what the hell you mean by that.
Nerdykins, thank you for the blue melody. Let me get you a
I mean,
sticker.
You have seen violent death before and dealt with it. I was a cop for a little while, if that's what you're asking. I suppose it is. He smiles. It's not a pleasant sight, for his face seems unused to the expression. Miss Bright, I'm going to help you. You want answers, and I think I know how I can give them to you. But you, in turn, must also help me. How am I supposed to do that? It's simple.
Oh no. Well,
All you have
hi.
to do
In
is solve
Australia. So cool.
Parson lets her sleep on the office couch that
Thank
night,
you so
for
much.
it's too dangerous outside to return home. How it's dangerous, he does not tell her. He cannot. He sits behind his desk as she sleeps, listening to the radio. He likes the radio. It's a very soothing experience, he finds, to hear the voices of the dead past in his ear, like they're still alive and fine. 2 moments in time brushing against one another. He looks at the woman asleep on his couch, rolled up in an old white blanket and face buried in the cushion. And he wonders what she truly is. For he knows she is more than just a rather pretty woman with a sad past, as she first seemed. He's beginning to suspect that what he is looking at is something like a bomb, waiting for the spark to set it off. Parsons stands and examines the board of keys on his wall again. He looks for a long, long time before finding the right one, which is last in line behind a long row of them in the corner. The key is unlike most of the others. It's long, its metal is dark, and it has one thick, awkward tooth at the end. He walks to one section of the paneled wall in his office. He looks back at Mona and confirms she's asleep. Then he feels the wall, fingers probing its nooks and crannies, until he finds one hole whose existence would not appear coincidental to a casual glance. He inserts the key in the hole and turns it. There is a clunk from somewhere in the wall, and one section of the paneling pops out a little. Parson works his fingers into its edge and pulls it open. It's a small, narrow door, one that could not comfortably allow a taller person to pass. On the other side is a wooden staircase, and Parson peers down it, inspecting its wooden steps, for they have not been used in some time, and he's not sure they're still sound. He begins down the staircase, which is dark and unlit. After the first turn, he begins feeling the wall for a switch, and on finding it, he hits it. A string of caged lights along the ceiling flicker on, leading him down the rickety passageway, and he continues until he finally comes to the motel basement. The basement is lit by a single old halogen work lamp.
I done smeared that.
Besides this, the basement is almost entirely empty, its cracked cement floor totally bare. But it's not completely empty. In the center of the basement, directly under the work lamp, is what appears to be a large, rough-hewn cube of dark, stained metal. It's nearly 4 feet tall and wide on all sides. Its edges are somewhat notched, and its sides a little scratched, and it's missing one corner. But besides that, it's whole and unharmed. Yet despite its simplicity, one cannot help but get the feeling that there is something more to the metal cube. Perhaps it's how it manages to attract the eye, no matter where you look. You could stare at your shoes as hard as you like, yet eventually you would find your gaze slowly, inexorably lifting to rest on the cube sitting in the light of the work lamp. Or maybe it's the way the air seems cooler the closer you get to the cube, eventually growing so cold that if you were to approach it, you'd feel sure you were about to freeze over. Or maybe, if you were particularly observant, it would be the cracks in the cement floor that would disturb you. For a quick study would show that all the cracks radiate outward from the cube, as if it's been slowly pushing down on the slab of cement with greater and greater pressure. Parson does
I think
not
we
enter
finished
the
this
basement.
page. What?
He stays on the stairway on the very bottom step.
We only have 2 minutes left in
He's
this
not willing
chapter,
to
so
venture
perfect
any closer.
timing.
He looks at it for a long time, reflecting on how little it's changed since he first stored it here. He says,
What y'all think?
"This is your door, isn't it?" If he expects a response from the cube, it doesn't come. "You
So
brought her here,"
cute.
he says. "I don't know how you did it from so far away, but you pulled her here." Still, the cube does nothing. It simply sits in the center of the room,
Thank
gleaming
you.
darkly
Thank
in the light of the
you.
lamp. "Why?" he asks.
I know it's a little
What are
different
you
than my
doing?
usual, but
"What do you need her
you
for?"
had fun.
No response. But is Parson mistaken, or is the work lamp moving a little bit, as if the cube is pulling it closer and closer? "Answer me," he says. "Answer me. I deserve that. I deserve one answer at least." The work lamp keeps getting closer and closer, its cord stretched to the breaking point, until finally it can take it no longer, and with a snap, the lamp breaks free and flies to the cube like a bullet from a gun. The light goes out, and there's a clang and the sound of glass shattering from somewhere in the darkness. Then nothing. Parson gazes into
Well,
the darkness.
I keep trying to find
Fine.
more stuff to do to
Says
make it
Peter.
through the last 10
Have
seconds.
it your way. And he stomps back upstairs to his office.
right, that is the end.
We are not having.
That is the end of chapter 19. So we're going to stop there for tonight. And this is our page. Thank y'all for hanging out. Maybe we just need to do simple things on Tuesday. I don't know. We'll see. Y'all never know how I feel until I get there. But if you enjoyed the story, we'll come back next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. We will continue the story. And I will be live again on the schedule. Will be Thursday. So unless something changes and I just get a wild hair and want to get on tomorrow, we don't have anything like scheduled necessarily. But love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Look at that 112 tabs. Love y'all so much. And y'all have a great night. Make good choices. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.